It is a beautiful Memorial Day, Coors Field in lower downtown Denver, as we pause to remember so many that have sacrificed their lives to protect our freedoms. And just moments ago, the flyby. Welcome inside Coors Field. The Rockies today on this Memorial Day opening up a 4-game set against the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds come in at 16-34. They've been struggling, to say the least. The Rockies lost 2 of 3 to the Giants. They come in 23-26. And welcome inside and upstairs with my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Before we talk baseball, we need to talk a little bit about the importance of Memorial Day. And you know, we all live frenetic lives and lifestyles and move at a very quick pace. And today's a day we reflect, and we really should do that every day. But I'm glad that we're having this kind of ceremony today.
It's so special today for everybody, and it once again reminds you and us of the privilege to be able to play baseball, but this great country that we live in, and so many people have sacrificed their lives so we could do things free will and be able to enjoy different things in life, and for that I'm eternally grateful.
Absolutely, and continue to sacrifice, the men and women who sacrifice so much overseas right now. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And you see the camo hats for the Rockies and the same for the Reds, and of course throughout baseball today as we honor Memorial Day. And there will be a moment of silence at 3 o'clock local time, 5 o'clock Eastern, to honor those that have lost their lives in service to our country. So the Reds come to town, and to say that the Reds have stumbled and bumbled through the first 50 games would be an understatement. They knew it would be a tough year. They're kind of in transition, but man, oh man, it's been really tough.
4 wins out on the road for the Cincinnati Reds. They finally broke a long losing streak on Saturday, but turned around and lost a game yesterday. This is a club that's kind of in transition, and this isn't your father's Reds or the Reds of the Big Red Machine for sure. They are in a different phase of their career, I guess what you would say, or their franchise. Yes,
and they're going to send their best pitcher to the hill today, Dan Straley, and he's an interesting story because he wasn't with them really in spring training, and now he's the best guy they've got. From the Rockies' perspective, though, you have to take care of business. These are still major league players. There's still, exactly. I know Joey Votto struggled. It's still Joey Votto. It's still Brandon Phillips. It's Jay Bruce in right field. So you have to play well. You played in this league a long time. There's no homecoming teams. But having said that, you have to make hay against the teams that are struggling.
Yeah, because you just ran the gauntlet, and we've talked about it with St. Louis, with Pittsburgh, with Boston, with San Francisco. So now what do? You have 4 games here against the Cincinnati Reds. And you're right, this is a Major League Ball club, and they still have some great names on this. But this is a series, though, that you have to make a little hay as you move forward before you go out on the road again to San Diego and LA.
That's right. I mean, at the end of this one, it's back on the road, and it's going to a couple of places that traditionally are difficult to garner wins. So Walt Weiss at home plate, Brian Price going over the particulars. Nolan Arenado is going to get his first day off of the year, and this is something that was coming. Nothing's wrong with Nolan, but Walt, especially in the midst of playing 27 in a row, was looking for a place to get him off his feet for at least 24 hours.
Well, and maybe even longer than that, because you think about it, after yesterday's ball game, I'm sure they told him, hey, you're going to get tomorrow off, so he gets today, and then they don't play again till tomorrow night. So you buy an extra probably 8 hours. So you're talking about 30+ hours. For somebody to be off his feet, for Nolan, that's almost like a week's worth of games.
Right, and the way he's wired. And you're right, that's a great point, because it's a day game going into a night game. That was not lost on Walt. This was picked judiciously on his part. Chad Bettis is going to take the baseball for the Rockies today. You know he's going to work quickly. You know he's going to work deep into the ball game. It's the right guy to start this series.
He is, and he's coming off a start where he wants to kind of forget against Boston, because that was 7 earned runs, probably one of his worst starts as far as earned runs are allowed, but he has pitched against Cincinnati before, so he has some familiarity. I think this is a good lineup for him to pitch against, because they are an aggressive team. First pitch guy, or first pitch swinging team, and if Chad can get out there and establish his fastball early on, he'll do that. 4.3 record with a 4.90 ERA, low walk to strikeout. Whip is right at the major league average. So for Chad, use that fastball. And I think this is going to be key because this team, as I mentioned a moment ago, they like to swing at a lot of first pitch. So you might see a few more sliders or a few more change-ups first pitch instead of just that automatic fastball.
Well, here's the lineup that Cincinnati will present today, and they have been struggling. Zack Cozart got off to a great start, but all of a sudden he's in a tremendous slump. Cozart comes into this ballgame 1 for 19 on the road trip, and the one hit was the first at bat he had on the trip was against Clayton Kershaw. He doubled. And it'll be Joey Votto batting second. A 207 average, just not like Joey Votto, but you figure he's going to extract himself from this slump at some point. Brandon Phillips is in the ball game. There was some question whether he'd go today. He hurt his knee yesterday catching a foul ball. Jay Bruce, Adam Duvall's had a big month, 9 home runs in May. Eugenio Suarez with a lot of power at third base. Billy Hamilton will bat 7. Tucker Barnhart is now the everyday catcher, with Devin Mesoraco lost for the season with a knee injury. So here we go. Zack Cozart on this Memorial Day will step in. He has the highest batting average on the team despite the recent slump at 289. But he's a guy that doesn't walk. He's a leadoff guy, Huey, but he's up there, like you said, swinging.
Well, if you look at his batting average and on-base percentage, not much different. There he goes, first pitch.
First pitch, he just hit out. A no-doubter to left. 1-0 Cincinnati on pitch number 1 for Cozart, his 6th home run.
Well, the scouting report was spot on. I mean, that's what they're going to do it. He jumped on that on the Subaru Supermo. Fastball, everything connected. And this is a guy that's coming off ACL surgery where he missed a lot of last year. That's the first home run Chad has given up at Coors Field this year.
It's just the 16th home run the Rockies have allowed in the month of May. That is the lowest figure in Major League Baseball. Joey Votto takes inside. A lot of guys have been pounding Votto inside. He prefers to go the other way. He's been messing with his stance and his approach and
choking up on the bat. I mean, a litany of things for Joey Votto. And to see his on-base percentage down at 330, that also tells you that he's struggling. He'll still walk, but he's a guy that's over 400 a lot of times.
Last year, once again, you're talking about a guy in the top 3 in the MVP voting.
Finished 3rd. Now is when, talking to scouts, saying this is when he gets into problems, when it's 2 strikes.
And this is a ground ball to second. Easy play for LeMahieu. 1 out. That'll bring up Brandon Phillips. Let's take a look at the Rockies defense. Para, Blackman, and Cargo in the outfield. The only change is Descalso. Daniels at third base for Nolan. Again, Nolan's just fine, just getting a day. Story, LeMahieu, Reynolds, and Dustin Garneau with the catcher's gear on. Versatile Daniel Descalso. Last start came at first base. That has to be such a foreign feeling for Nolan, sitting there watching his team in the field.
It is, but you need those breaks. You need those mental breaks, no matter how gifted and how good you are. I know it's hard for Nolan. He's saying, oh, man, I'd like to be playing. But this, sometimes just to be able to watch the game, even if it's only for 5 or 6 innings, you might need him later in the game. But for 5 or 6 innings, just to kind of have that break. Walt understands that, the former player playing as long as he did. You know, there's no Cal Ripkins. Guys are going to play 3,000 plus games anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's on the horizon for anybody. That's fought off by Phillips. You know, Phillips is another guy. His numbers are down like Joey Votto. He's not walking much. Reds had an 11-game losing streak. They snapped that on Saturday, and then they lost yesterday in Milwaukee. Ground ball right at Mark Reynolds. 2 outs. Here's our Office Liquidators series storylines. Cargo is hot, and Cargo's always been hot when he takes on the Cincinnati Reds in his career. The Rockies have done very well against Cincinnati the last several years, particularly here at Coors Field. And as Huey mentioned, it's a bounce back opportunity for Bettis after going just 4 1/3, giving up 7 runs against that very talented Red Sox lineup. Jay Bruce. Jay's having a solid year. Good year last year. Leads the club with 31 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is how bad it is right now. They have only 3 guys that are hitting above 250 this month. Bruce is one of them at 270. Duvall, who's on decks, hitting 295. And Ramon Cabrera, the backup catcher, is hitting 263. This is popped up right behind the mound. Descalso battling some wind, makes the catch. In the first inning, Cozart took the first pitch deep to left. It's 1-0 Reds. Rockies and Charlie Blackmon getting ready to go offensively against the right-hander Dan Straley. Numbers for Charlie. He's reached it 24 consecutive games. That's a career best. Southwest batting order this afternoon for Walt Weiss. DJ's going to bat second. Cargo, Mark Reynolds, Gerardo Parra in the middle. Trevor Story will bat 6th for the first time in his young career. Then it's Descalso, who's been swinging the bat well since coming off the DL with a broken hand. Dustin Garneau 8th. Chad Bettis, of course, will bat 9th. And Straley's first pitch is in there for a strike. Straley beat the Rockies in Cincinnati. The Reds took 2 of 3 from Colorado. The Rockies won the first game, and then the Rockies lost a couple 1-run games. This is deep to right. Did Charlie tie it up? You bet. So I say, hey, Zack Cozart, hang on, buddy. I'll do the same thing. How about 1-1?
Well, that's the ultimate answer of a first inning home run. When they hit one out, you hit one out. 25 games now for Charlie to reach base, but this time he doesn't just reach him, he just touches them all on the Subaru Supermo. Clips this one pure and clean. 4th home run, 20th RBI. Yeah, and there's a souvenir for the first row in the second deck.
Up and in on DJ. 1-0. Well,
Chad said thank you.
That's the way to start it with a bang. Charlie's 14th career leadoff home run. More than any other Rocky in club history. Rockies first base coach Eric Young hit 8 leadoff home runs. Cargo hit 6. Remember, he used to lead off when he first came up. Dexter Fowler's having an all-star year with the Cubs. Hit 6. Ooh, I thought he held up, but not according to Mark Wegner. So it's 1 and 2. Here's the list.
Nafy Perez.
I remember when Nafy would go deep, Don Baylor would shake his head. He'd almost rather sacrifice. He goes, now he's going to hit 10 fly balls over the next couple of days. That's Straley's out pitch, the slider. And he strikes out DJ. He's our Mayfield big hit. Now every day Cargo's throwing out one of these. He was against Josh Osich again. This thing traveled 456 feet. He got Osich the day before the 2-run home run in the 7th to give the Rockies a short-lived 5-4 lead. So Cargo is very warm right now. 7-game hitting streak. In there. Straley will throw the changeup to the lefties. You don't see it as much to right-handed hitters.
That's where the righties, it's the slider. And I know Charlie pulled that home run, but for Straley, you really have to stay centered in the middle part of the field. Because that's what he wants you to do. He wants you to be overly aggressive.
Another changeup away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cargo.
That's how I used to hit him too.
3-2. Straley went 5 innings against the Rockies. The Rockies won that particular ball game 5-1, but they didn't do their damage against Straley. He allowed just 2 hits in a run.
4 strikeouts in that game.
Down low, good at bat from Cargo, and he'll go down to first. One out, and that'll bring up Mark Reynolds.
And for a guy that was claimed on waivers on April 1st, he's been their best starter. In the 8 previous starts, he has not given up more than 3 runs in any of those starts. Fastball is not overpowering. We've seen it already at 90 miles an hour. The slider is what he struck DJ out with. He'll use the changeup to left-handers, but he's trying to pitch to the corners, because if he leaves it up or he leaves that changeup up, it's going to be a long afternoon for him and a fun afternoon for the Rockies hitters.
And a quick visit as that pitch misses to Mark Reynolds. Let's tell you about our umpires while we have a moment. Mike Winters is behind home plate as Joey Votto and Cargo chatted up. Mark Wegner at first. Marty Foster is at third. He originally was at second. They flip-flop. Ryan Blakeney is at second now. So I guess some umpiring equipment didn't make it on the flight in, so some guys are without numbers. That's inside 2-0 on Mark.
A quick turnaround for the umpires. New set of umpires that we had in the Giants series. There's Marty with the no number on his shirt.
Behind the home plate. He's been a big league umpire since 1990. He's worked 3 World Series, worked a couple of games that I'm sure he won't forget. Cal Ripken and Tony Gwynn's 3,000th hit games.
Got both of those.
He had both of those.
Wow.
It's a sense of pride too for an umpire.
Sure.
Says, yeah, I was behind the plate when, you know, Ryan threw his 6th no-hitter and that sort of thing. A hard-working bunch who are really, really talented. You know, we like to give them a hard time, but really professional. And even with video replay, they get the calls right 98% of the time without help.
And they hate it when they get a call wrong. Sure. I mean, it just bugs them to no end.
In the air to Billy Hamilton in center field. 2 outs. Take a look at the Reds defensively. They have committed 41 errors, so you know, defense hasn't gone real well for them either. Duvall, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield. Billy Hamilton, you know, slight figure. He can really throw, by the way. Suarez and Cozart on the left side. Phillips and Votto on the right side. Brandon has a number of Gold Gloves, and Joey Votto can pick it also. Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. So 2 gone, and here's Gerardo Parra. Parra hit a couple of balls hard yesterday, a double, and then the line shot after, you know, the words with Johnny Cueto. He hit a line shot, but it was right at first baseman Brandon Belt, and it turned into a double play. The Rockies had the bases loaded.
Looks like he's starting to come out of his slump.
And Parra gets on top of this one. Easy play for Brandon Phillips. Well, we've got a tie game. Cozart went deep leading off the game for Cincinnati. And then the leadoff hitter for the Rockies in the bottom half of the first, Charlie Blackmon. And he got all of this one. Reds and Rockies, 1 apiece. Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. straight day games on this Memorial Day weekend, and Adam Duvall launches one to deep center field. And looping and making the catch in front of the wall is Charlie Blackmon. Duvall with 9 home runs in May gave that thing a ride.
Another first pitch swinging from the Cincinnati Reds.
I mean, I want to say 5 of the first 6 pitches last inning from Chad Bettis were swung at by the Reds. True to form, they are an impatient team. And Eugenio Suarez, he's been struggling. 0 for his last 27. Got a great story on that. Told to me by a fellow colleague today that he was talking to Matt Duffy the other day, and Duffy was in the hotel room listening to the replay of our broadcast, the Root Sports broadcast of the Rockies and Giants. This is rolled to second, and he's now 0 for his last 28. And we had mentioned, Huey, that Duffy had been 0 for 21, and Duffy remarked to the reporter, he said, "I didn't even know that."
Really?
And I said, and my reply to our colleague was, I said, you know, that's perfect. I said, that's a guy that is so mentally tough and so focused on putting whatever at bat he had behind him. Very few guys can do that, right?
Right. He's not looking in the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
He's looking out the windshield.
Yeah.
But that's hard to do because you know, as a player, you know where you stand, how you hit in a ballpark, how you hit against a pitcher, how you hit it during the day, at night, all that. But for him, it doesn't matter.
Really, I was 0 for 21. No idea.
Shocking.
That's off the plate. It's 2-0 on Billy Hamilton. Billy is swinging it better, according to folks we talked to within the Reds organization. He is just 2 for 17 on the road trip. Forget about this one. And that's a nice try by DJ, but he probably should have just eaten the baseball. Fortunately, no advance. And that's a rare bunt single for Billy Hamilton. You'd think he'd accumulate a ton of those, but he has struggled to get bunts down, and when he does, seems like guys are making great plays against him.
And this was almost one of those, but Billy Hamilton is just flat out fly. And when you get it past the pitcher, that's all you're looking for on a bunt. And DJ knows that his only option is to try to get it and flip it backhand.
I'll tell you something else that's surprising, Huey. He has only, air quotes, 9 stolen bases.
That's 9 behind the leader, Jonathan Villar of the Milwaukee Brewers, who has 18. Starling Marte, 17. I mean, Billy Hamilton, this is a kid that stole over 100 bases a couple different times out in the minor leagues.
He takes off, and the throw to second's not going to get him. Good play by DJ backing up, and then a quick return throw to Story. So there's the 10th stolen base for Hamilton.
Great jump because he continues to walk into this. See how he's just moving? Now that's up to Chad to try to stop that movement. And then going into second on the Subaru Supermo, if somehow Trevor comes up with that pick, it's going to be real close on the tag, with DJ hustling, backing up, not allowing any advancement from Billy Hamilton.
Tucker Barnhart with a 1-0 count. That's outside, 2-0. Hamilton 50+ stolen bases each of his first 2 full years in the big leagues. 2-1. This is the 33rd start behind the plate for Barnhart. Again, Mesoraco hurt early in the season. 3-1. Bettis is going to be careful here. He's got the pitcher Straley on deck.
Straley's 0 for 13. Yeah, they're just going to don't mess around.
Yeah.
Don't mess around and just say, oh, we'll be careful. And then you leave one over, he gets a base hit, then you're kicking yourself.
And Straley, who's coming up, does not have a hit yet this year. He's 0 for 13. And 10 of those 13 at-bats have resulted in a strikeout. So this is a wise move.
Now, just finish this off. That's the last piece. That's the exclamation point on it.
I remember the line that Clint Hurdle, he didn't originate it, but he often would repeat it. He goes, "A man with a bat is a dangerous man."
We saw it the other day with the guy for the Giants that was supposed to take 0-2 and he swung the bat and hit a base hit to right.
And Roberto Kelly's looking at the
Wait,
Roberto Kelly and Bruce Bochy staring at each other, and he's, I told him to take. He doesn't know that signal, evidently.
Corey Guerin. He said, "I got a bat. I'm standing in the box. I'm swinging."
0-2, and he strikes him out. So Bettis does his job. Hamilton and Barnhart left the board. Middle of 2, 1-1 ball game.
To pay homage to the servicemen and women who have served in our armed forces and paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. This weekend, I had the chance to go to the Hall of Fame, and I was completely floored when I learned that out of 312 Hall of Famers, 68 served during wartime service. And during that time, you look at some of the guys that served: Pee Wee Reese, Ralph Kiner, Stan Musial, names that everybody knows, Joe DiMaggio. In the very first class, it was Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson. They were veterans as well. You can look at the numbers. It's amazing. And out of that number, 4,500 professional baseball players served in the military during World War II. Ted Williams right there was one of the only guys that served in both World War II and the Korean War. It's amazing to think of the guys that have served our country, not only as major leaguers, but now as we look back at it, it's an incredible list of names, and I'm completely honored to have the opportunity to have played baseball and then to call several of these servicemen and women my friends.
Absolutely, Spilly. And I think back to a friend that we lost, a colleague, not all that long ago, who served in a couple of different conflicts. Jerry Coleman, who was affectionately known as the Colonel in San Diego. Great broadcaster, great player, and the service to his country.
And Jerry Coleman has his own wing at the Baseball Hall of Fame that has been dedicated to him. And it's great as you're walking through the Hall of Fame and the gallery of all the players that have their name enshrined. Underneath the 68 different people in the Hall of Fame, there's an emblem that shows their being a military veteran and what war they served in.
Well, and some of those guys too, as you mentioned, not only served in 2 wars, but they missed 2, sometimes 3 years serving.
Yeah. No question. And on this Memorial Day, with 1 out in the 2nd, Daniel Descalso will come up. Trevor Story did not hold up on that slider. Straley's been a consistent strike thrower. Got a whip of just 112, so he's giving the Reds chances to win games. Their bullpen, though, has just been miserable.
6.45 bullpen ERA. You have to go back a long time, back to the 1930s, to find a bullpen that has been that torched.
How about Descalso? He just keeps throwing out line drive after line drive since coming off the shelf, making up for lost time. So Daniel, a 1-out knock. Rocky's 2nd hit, and that'll bring up the catcher Dustin Garneau out of Cal State Fullerton. Toyota Talk, you know how it works. Send us your comments, photos perhaps, on your favorite social media platform. And as long as you include the hashtag Toyota Talk, we'll get some of those on the air and perhaps even talk about them throughout the afternoon. So Garneau, who hit a home run at Fenway Park and was beaming ear to ear, came on Thursday as the Rockies beat the Red Sox 8-2.
Just like this comment, it's what do you dream of as a kid? You're playing in your backyard. You might hit it over the tree that's considered Fenway Park. The Green Monster.
It was a great point, because who in their backyard did not play wiffle ball or stickball or wherever you happen to play and not have the venue be Fenway more often than not?
Well, I mean, I go back and I think it's the Bucky Dent home run, the Carlton Fisk home run, and what it means, and off the pole and over the wall.
Come on, man! You didn't say, all right, let's play, and today we're going to be Joe Robbie Stadium. That's going to be the venue. That didn't happen.
Well, part of it too, because you didn't know what to call it. Would it be Pro Player, Joe Robbie,
Land
Sandlark,
Shark,
or what? Yeah.
But even
it was the Green Monster.
Hey, this one's going to be at the Vet in Philadelphia. No.
Maybe a old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium.
Wrigley Field. I mean, those.
I know. We played Fenway,
Yeah.
and it was like there was a house in the way in left field, and that was the Monster.
So if you hit it over the house,
Yeah,
that
over
was
the house, but it had to be to the right of the chimney, not the left of the chimney. Otherwise, you could do your Carlton Fisk. This ball's lathered to left. Garneau with a line single. Descalso stops at second. 2 on, 1 out with Bettis coming up. Spilly, I mean, you're in Santa Barbara, and sometimes I know the waves and that sea breeze get to your mind, but what did you play?
Well, we did Dodger Stadium, and I guarantee you Dustin Garneau did it too. And every time that we hit the home run, we weren't going like this, Carlton Fisk. We're not going to date ourselves. We did this. And this was the Kurt Gibson, and you'd have to limp around the backyard.
And you did your best Vin Scully, right?
Yeah, she is gone. Yeah, it's terrible.
Not a great bunt attempt there by Bettis, so it's 0-1. Straley, like all pitchers, trying to come up in the zone, Huey, to induce a pop-up.
Yeah, up and in. So they like to throw the baseball to somebody that's squaring around to bunt. 3 sacrifice bunts on the season for Chad. That might come back. That might come back.
It is coming back. That I have never seen, certainly at this level, where once it goes foul, somebody failed to kill it.
Well, and that's what
Votto just let it go by once it went foul. I'm perplexed by that.
Well, and that's what a perplexed look on his face is all about. Saying, why didn't I touch this when it was foul? Okay, so right now it's foul, go get it. But he doesn't, and it has the English on it where it clips the line again, and then it goes foul. How close is this on the Subaru Supermo, okay? Right now is when Joey Votto should have hit it to make sure, but it catches a spike mark and redirects, and then oh, another spike mark.
Up the middle, Cozart cuts it off and turns it into a 6-3 double play. So that'll end the inning. The Rockies had a couple of hits. We'll go to the third. Rockies won and the Reds won. Zack Cozart, a home run. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston upstairs. Our very own Ryan Spilborghs is downstairs. And Spilly just got back from Cooperstown, my favorite place in America. He's a Doubleday Field. Got his old number 19 on, his Rocky uni still fits him well. And he went 2 for 2 at the plate. Throwing line drives out to right center field. Almost pulled ribcage muscle though, going deep to left in batting practice. Zack Cozart, who homered on the first pitch that he saw, instead gets a curveball here. So what we want to know, Spilly, first of all, I didn't see you moving around the dugout today. Are you healthy?
I'm sore. I was walking in with Jordan Pacheco today, and we were laughing, and I was telling him about it. And I said, I forgot the grind of baseball. I played 7 innings. It wasn't like it was long, but the physical toll it takes. I haven't swung a bat in 3 years. My last game was in Japan. And to do that, I mean, my feet hurt, my quads hurt, my rib cages hurt.
Maybe it was those shoes you wore out there.
Good point.
Now you have to tell the story too about, because you relayed this to me this morning about facing Jeff Suppan and how you thought it was just going to be a nice, easy affair. You could lay a couple in there for you.
Yeah, I was facing Jeff Suppan, who is throwing about 75 miles an hour, and the first 2 pitches fouled him straight back. And then he throws a curveball. And I was like, this guy's going to strike me out in front of 6,000 people. And it was real. And so the next pitch, I lined it into right field.
That's when you said game on.
I was like, game on, let's go.
Now, because it's, competition again, did you get a little nervous when it got to 1-2?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably been more nervous at the Hall of Fame game than I was ever in my first big league at bat. I mean, I didn't want to embarrass myself. It was scary. It was really
afraid
scary.
you're going to strike out.
Yes.
Who won the BP Home Run Derby?
Jerry Harrison Jr. We call him Champ now. It's unfortunate.
Jerry won it, huh?
Yeah.
His dad was there with him, right?
No, he had his son. It was great.
Oh, his son, okay.
Jamie Moyer was there. We had LaTroy Hawkins, Desi Relaford. There was Todd Pratt, a lot of former Rockies. It was great. A lot of people brought their family members. Jamie Moyer brought his son, and they spent the entire time together. They were able to go fishing in the lake right outside of the hotel. It was great. It was a great time for a lot of people.
Here's Joey Votto. He fouls that off. It's 2-2. Spilly, last thought. Hawk said he was going to hit you. Was he on your team?
He was on my team.
Oh.
Well, unfortunate for Hawk, Hawk gave up the booty, and we ended up losing. We were up 4-2 in the 5th inning, 6th inning, and Melvin Mora took him deep with a 3-run jack, and it was over. So was my MVP dreams of winning it.
Were you in the conversation?
Yeah, I was 2 for 3.
He hit third in the lineup for him.
Yeah, I scored a run.
Right.
I bruised up my knee.
They said, who's the youngest guy here? Spilly raised his hand. All right, you're in the 3-hole.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how about
busting out my old goats? Those things hurt.
That's why your feet hurt.
Yeah, those hurt.
Spilly, we're proud of you.
Nice
Thanks,
job.
you guys. Thanks for showing it. It meant a lot to me. Thank you.
3-2 and strike 3 on Joey Votto. Boy, he's just uncomfortable at the plate, Huey.
Just doesn't look like the Joey Votto you're accustomed to seeing. There was a strike on the Subaru strike zone. And this is what pitchers are doing to him. They're just pounding him inside, and he's not making the adjustment. And it's really interesting to see somebody of his stature in this game and what he's done and how many hits he's got, to see him in one of those funks and not able to swing the bat.
I've said this to my kids. I know you've said it to your kids, especially to Cody, because Kyle went on and played major college hockey. But Cody, a longtime baseball player, you tell him, listen, when you're in one of these things, the best players in the world go through it. I mean, right now, Joey Votto is as frustrated and is lost. And this is one of the all-timers in this generation.
But everybody, you can tell everybody that, and you can feel it, but to you, it feels like you're on an island by yourself, and there's no way off. But you try to help your kids, and you try to say, hey, look at Joey Votto. He's hitting 207. It's Joey Votto.
What were we talking about for 10 days with Cargo?
Right. I mean, Cargo's 2 for 32. Didn't seem like he could sniff a hit. And then what's he do? It's pretty good roll right now.
Nobody wants to face him
No.
right now. 1-2 on Brandon Phillips, 2 gone in the 3rd in a 1-1 ball game. And this is on the ground to Trevor Story. That's all for the Reds, as Bennett gets him in order in the 3rd. Coming up for the Rockies, the top of the order. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru, and by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. On board, 2 Navy EA 18G Growlers. Have you ever gone up?
I have not.
I don't
Was
know.
it
I
2
think
years
it'd be
ago
an
that-
unbelievable thrill.
It was 2 years ago. Sully did that.
Well, there's baseball. First time up, Charlie Blackmon hit one about 400 feet, and he just hit one about 14 feet. How about this? With Cozart leading off the top of the 1st with a home run, and then the bottom of the 1st, the score getting tied on the home run by Blackmon. The only other time that's happened in Rockies history was 1995. Bernard Gilkey of the Cardinals hit a home run leading off for St. Louis, and then Trinidad Hubbard went deep in the next half inning. This is lined to left field, and coming on and making the catch is Duvall. 2 gone. And the last time it happened anywhere in baseball was actually last September. Alex Gordon for the Royals led off with a home run And then Jason Kipnis hit a home run.
Well, that's the first run that Dan Straley has allowed in the first inning this year. So a lot of firsts going on.
2 outs, nobody on. Cargo, who walked his first time, will come up. Bottom of the third, 1-1. Reds do put on a shift. You know, it's interesting. A lot of times we see this, Huey, catchers where you want to stay away from his power and you set up away with Cargo. And Cargo, as we've talked about many times, he wants the ball away. In fact, he can hit balls off the plate out of the ballpark.
So for the Reds, I think what they're thinking is maybe if Straley takes a little bit off the fastball, pitches it away, can he still hit it out? Well, Cargo has the power to be able to do that. Some guys, if he's throwing to 89, 90 miles an hour, if it's away, yeah, they can get their singles, maybe their doubles, but not the home runs. Cargo can do that.
3-1 away, and it's in there 3-2. He will not get a fastball. I'll be shocked.
Got a change up his first at bat when he walked Cargo.
Three-two. And it actually was a fastball, but it was about a foot off the plate. So Cargo has walked again. You can just already tell how that pitchers meeting went this morning with Straley. Listen, Cargo's on fire. Don't let him beat you. And now we look at the lineup. Arenado's not out there. Don't let him beat you. Let's reinforce that.
2 walks already to Cargo. Dan Straley has never pitched at Coors Field either. So I'm sure when he walked into the ballpark, he said, man, this thing is huge.
And we got that story this morning from, this ball's in the air to shallow right. It's going to drop. Cargo's going to end up at third. So Mark Reynolds throws out a bloop single and Parra will hit. But Straley, Chris Welsh on the television side for Cincinnati said, yes, Straley came in here and he was blown away how big it was.
It doesn't look that big from the outside, he said, but inside there's a little extra room, and Mark Reynolds found that room. Cargo playing in his home ballpark, knows nobody's going to get there. Set up for Gerardo. 326 average with runners in scoring position.
The Rockies can rally with 2 outs. There's a strike. And I understand, we go to every ballpark, and all the new ballparks are smaller in the high 30s, maybe 40,000. We just came from Fenway, which obviously the oldest park. You walk into this ballpark, it is a monstrosity by today's standards. This ball crushed to right, and it is off the wall. 1 run is scored. Going to third base and stopping there is Reynolds on a 370-foot single by Parra, and the Rockies take a 2-1 lead.
326 average with runners in scoring position is going to go up. Subaru Supermo came back over the middle part of the plate, belt high. They wanted to cut the fastball in on the hands. Didn't get there. Gerardo made him pay. Those are off the auxiliary scoreboard. Scoring Cargo and moving Mark Reynolds to third.
Trevor Story got behind in the count and struck out on a slider. But Parra was almost caught without any flexion in his knees. You know what I'm saying there? Do you see that?
Yep. You have to make sure you stay in an athletic position when you're taking your lead off. You can't get too upright. Just to finish that thought on Straley in the big ballpark. Think about the park, though, he's coming from, the Cincinnati Great American Ballpark. I mean, that thing's a bandbox. Very tight with the outfield bleachers, and then the stands are right on the field.
1-0 on Story. 2-0. This has been unusual, at least of late, for Trevor. He did homer yesterday, also had 3 strikeouts, but he's got the count in his favor. But with Straley's arsenal, it's still probably slider count for him, isn't it, Huey?
Yes. To the right-handers, that's what he'll throw. He likes that. Maybe sneak a fastball away, but no change-ups.
He went fastball, and he missed location with it. Two and one.
Right on the edge of the Subaru strike zone high.
And Reynolds at third. Parra at first. A walk to Cargo, 2 straight singles, and the Rockies lead it 2-1. Three and one. You have Descalso, a hot bat on deck.
Trevor be very selective.
Yep. And as you said earlier, Huey, think right center field.
You have to. They'll just carve you up if you think pull, pull, pull.
Both times that he's induced a swing, it's been on pitch way up in the zone. 3-2. Parra will be off. Story taking a little extra time, a couple deep breaths. Outside, ball 4, and they're loaded up for Daniel Descalso. On this Memorial Day, all around Major League Baseball, games will pause at 3 p.m. local time and participate in a national moment of remembrance for those who have given their lives during active military duty. Let's pick up Reed Saunders here at the ballpark.
Join us now in this moment of silence as a collective, unified expression of gratitude to the heroes who lost their lives while protecting the freedoms we enjoy today. Thank you.
Moment of silence. Mark Riggins, the pitching coach for the Reds, went out to visit with Dan Straley. All of this with 2 outs. Blackman hit a little comebacker. LeMahieu lined out to left, but then Cargo walked. Reynolds blooped a single. Parra lined one off the scoreboard and right to drive in a run, and then Trevor Story just walked. So Descalso's up there. He singled sharply to right, his first at bat.
And don't take anything for granted if this ball is hit in the air, because the wind has just picked up immensely. It's might be 20 to 30 miles an hour with the wind, so it's swirling. No telling what's going to happen.
Outside. Straley has only given up a couple markers in the 3rd inning now, but he is affected, I think, a little bit by the ballpark, because he had only walked 12 guys coming in, Huey. He's already walked 3.
And he had a 195 batting average against, and there's some powerful swings being taken against him.
Descalso takes another strike. 1-2. I don't know where the wind came from, but you're right. It is really swirling. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 and 2 on Descalso.
This is a Wrigley Field wins, Candlestick Park wins.
Straley, the former Oakland A, steps off the bat. 1 and 2 on Descalso. Another foul ball. Straley has really slowed his tempo down. Yep.
He and Barnhart can't get on the same page as far as what they want to throw.
Straley has big league service time also with the Cubs and Astros.
Gets the best fireworks show in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th, following the game against the Phillies.
So here we go again, another 1-2 with the bases full. 2 and 2. Line drive, base hit into right. It'll score 2. The trail runner's story, and he'll get a stop. No, he's going to get a green light. Here's a throw from Phillips. Not in time. Bases clearing double. Daniel Descalso. And the Rockies take a 5-1 lead. You got to see the great speed in Trevor's Story there.
And the read from Stu Cole at third base to see where that throw was going. It wasn't going towards home. It was going more towards second. So he kept Trevor going. Daniel, career 360 batter with the bases loaded. Laces a double to right field. Jay Bruce comes up. And instead of throwing home, he throws back to second base. Now it takes a long time for Brandon Phillips to have to throw from where he was to home. So Stu Cole read that perfectly.
No swing on Dustin Garneau. What an at-bat for Descalso. Behind 1 and 2, fouled off a couple pitches, took a pitch high and away, and then got something he could handle, and he lathered it to right. 5 runs, 6 hits, and all of this damage with 2 outs.
Take another look at this. He goes down and gets the slider inside. Now just watch Trevor run. It's Stu saying, come on, let's go. You have a chance to score. Put another 3 runs on the board.
Got young legs,
yeah,
too.
Well, slide out and around, reach back with the left hand on the Subaru Super Mode. No tag. Ball skipping over the top of Tucker Barnhart.
You had 2 extra coaches there, too.
That's what you have to be. Tell them where to slide.
Yeah, Reynolds and Parra indicating where to come in. This has popped up, and the wind's going to blow this thing way back into the seats. Joey Votto, I think, initially thought he was going to have a play.
And that's what you need to do in these games. You know, it's a tight game. 1-1, they hit a home run, maybe a little life there. You hit one. But when you have a chance to really open the game up, they needed to do that. It was a big moment early in this game.
one, because you always want to do that, but two, really important also, this team's down. This team does not have much confidence being 16-34. You want them to have that deja vu feeling again.
Here we go. And also out on the road.
This ball is hit well to left field, and it is going to drop foul. Duvall couldn't get there. And that was a ball, honestly, folks, it started out right at Duvall, and it moved about 50 feet with the wind blowing hard right to left. Look at this thing.
Yeah, this is the best angle, and you think, oh, could it fall fair? Could it? No, and then it ends up a good 4 or 5 feet foul.
Good shot by Crash down that right field line. He was all over that. It's a perfect view of what Duvall was seeing. 1-2 on Garneau. Descalso's returned. He's 8 of 14. That'll work. This thing is going to be a lot of fun also. In short right field, Bruce, and he got there. In the inning, the Rockies, with 2 outs, produced 4 runs. It went walk, single, single, walk, double. And the Rockies now enjoying a 5-1 lead. Greater coverage of baseball. News and notes from around the game. All 30 teams naturally in action today on this Memorial Day. Clayton Kershaw, I watched a good portion of that game last night. He's ridiculous. 100 punch-outs, 5 walks. You kidding me? Never happened before in the game, ever. Johnny Peralta cut his thumb with a knife, so that's going to delay his return to the St. Louis lineup. But the kid in front of him, Aledmus Diaz, is hitting like 400. Or close to it. Strike one, Chad Bettis on Jay Bruce. We have a very special guest. We have a couple of guests. One is more special than the other. They're kind of a husband-wife team. This ball's pulled by Bruce into that right field corner, and it's going to be extra bases for Bruce. Stop at second base with a leadoff double in the 4th. 5-1 Colorado. Katie Strittmatter joins us, and a lot of people, I think, know Katie's husband, Mark, who's a roving catching coordinator for the Rockies, played for the Rockies. He's coached in the Rockies organization for a long time, brief stint with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But Katie joins us annually to talk about the Parkinson's Foundation. First and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good days and bad days, so.
All right.
Mostly good, which is great.
And you had the same procedure that Ben Petrick kind of famously had a few years ago.
Yes, I did. It was a life-saving procedure. We have a family member that just had it. He's 80 years old, and it's been good for him too. It's amazing. It's a blessing that I have access to all that I do.
Great.
So
good deal. And now, hold on one sec. Duvall hits this ball in the air, and the wind's got a hold of this thing, and wow, it carried out. So Adam Duvall hits a 2-run, wind-aided home run to right center. And the Reds are back within a couple of the Rockies. It's 5-3. That's his 10th home run in the month of May. That's more than anybody else in the National League.
Well, he almost had a home run in the 2nd inning, hit a drive to deep center field. This time he doesn't miss it on the Subaru Supermo and takes it out for a 2-run home run over the big wall in right center field into the Rockies bullpen.
If you looked at the route from Charlie Blackmon, it looked like Charlie felt like, oh, I'm going to make this catch pretty easily, and then he kept drifting back and back, and he's like, wow, I got no shot.
Yeah, that's what happened in the last 15 minutes or so with this wind picking up. You can't give up on any ball because you don't know where it's going to end up.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez at the plate. That's inside. But I'm sorry, continue on, Katie, with the event coming up.
the big event is called the Vitality Walk. It's going to take place this Sunday, June 5th. It's going to start at 9 o'clock in Wash Park. There's also a location in Longmont that you can go to, and you can also choose to snooze, which is what I'll be doing because I will be in Cooperstown with Sean. So
and Sean's going to Dreams Park this week.
Dreams Park.
He is, yes. So we promised to donate for every home run that he hits. So hopefully he does well.
Well, I know he could swing it. I've watched him swing it at your house, so there's a good chance he's going to raise some dollars
I
for
hope
Parkinson's
so. I hope he
as well.
does. I hope he does.
You guys have been doing this annually for a while now, correct?
We have. They've done it a while. I've been there with my family, gosh, every year since they've started, I think. So it's a great fundraiser. They're trying to expand the boxing program, which has been on the news a few times. Exercise, obviously, is a great benefit to people with Parkinson's, and the boxing program seems to be really popular, and it's just kicking off everywhere. So there are locations in Aurora, downtown, and they're just starting one in Greenwood Village. So trying to raise extra funds for that.
And Katie, the website to go to is Parkinson'sRockies.org.
ParkinsonRockies.org. So www.ParkinsonRockies.org. Or always you can Google the Parkinson Association of the Rockies, and that will get you there.
And there's still plenty of time, I assume, to sign up for the walks in the respective sites.
There
this
is,
weekend.
and they're going to leave the website open a few weeks later. So if you choose to snooze, you can donate, obviously, after the event too.
How much are they hoping to raise with this event?
They're hoping to raise a little bit over $200,000, which is what they did last year. It turned out over a couple thousand walkers, and it's just so inspiring, even for me, to see older people that can walk, 300 feet, and they show up and they do it, and it's inspiring for all ages. I know my family loves it. The kids have loved it. It's just a great event.
Katie, what kind of inroads have they made with research over the last several years?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot, I don't think. Medications have gotten better. I'm on a new medication that they've just started using. Surgery, obviously, is really high technology, and but obviously having access to those things is an issue. So, like I said, I'm blessed to have access to doctors and everything we need, and there are so many people that do not, and so that's where it becomes an issue. Is you don't have access to those things, and the Parkinson's Association does help with walkers and canes and wheelchairs and things people need that they might not be able to afford, which is wonderful. So
Absolutely. And there are fundraisers ongoing throughout the year.
Always.
Yep.
They do have a couple of other fun events. Always fun for the kids and fun for the whole family, but the walk is our biggest. That's the biggest draw. So.
Great. Again,
Yeah.
let's get that website out one more time. Go ahead, Katie.
It's www.parkinsonrockies.org.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited for you and Sean going to Cooperstown. That's a base hit by Billy Hamilton, and now 2 on. 4 straight hits against Bettis in the 4th. Tucker Barnhart hitting out of the 8th spot in the lineup will come up, but Dreams Park and that memories for a lifetime.
It should be a great time, and Mark actually gets to go thanks to his new job, so he'll be there a few days, not the whole time, but that's pretty awesome that he gets that time.
Just tell him not to mess the kids up, right?
We'll try. He's much better with the older crowd, no doubt.
Actually, I'm going to give him a little plug because he's going to be coming on here in a second, and he's worked with my boys, and he works all the way, obviously, up with big leaguers and guys that are a step away from the big leagues. Your husband, as you know, has the perfect demeanor for all ages. He really does. He's great.
The best.
He is great. He's tremendous.
Great teacher.
He is.
Yep, he's a great catching instructor. He's really good offensively too. So
he's a great dad too. I have to throw that one in too. The
Well,
best. He packs lunches. He does it all.
we're not going to tell him we said any of this, though, right? This is our
You
little
can't hear
secret.
us, right?
Okay, you got it.
Barnhart pops this up. This is in no man's land. Coming hard is Parra,
what
and
a
he made the
catch.
catch. Huey, you described this. This was a nightmare.
This is a don't give up on any ball kind of hit, because you're looking at Trevor, you think he's got a chance at this. You look at Charlie, maybe he's got a chance to come in from center field. And I think maybe the third option would have been Gerardo coming with the sliding grab. But how great was that and athletic was that? I mean, he has to slide on the Subaru Supermo, looking it right into his glove and keeping the wrist from hitting the ground, because when your wrist hits the ground, if you don't have a chance to lock it in, that's when it pops out.
They have a back pick. They got it. Suarez got too far off. Descalso will make the tag. Hamilton does move up. What a play by Garneau. He saw that Suarez had gotten too far off second base and he backpicked him.
Well, that's something that he learned from Mark Stripmatter, to make sure that he gets that throw behind whenever there's a bunt attempt. The shortstop has to be there and he has to know. So Trevor's there, Suarez saying, I'm in trouble, and then the execution of the rundown was outstanding.
And now you have Straley up there, who, as we've talked about, is not much of a hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hamilton at second.
As bad as this inning started with the 4 consecutive hits, with that back pick and the fly ball, you have a chance to just get out of here with just 2 runs. You have to get Straley.
Bettis is going to take a rare walk off the mound for a moment to regather his thoughts. We all know how quickly he works, but he's fallen behind Straley 3-1. Three and 2. Straley, not surprisingly, was taking the whole way. Got dark here too. Katie, did you listen to the weather? Are we getting rain today?
They said 0% chance of rain as it was raining at my house when we left. So
Which is about
It's
right.
it's Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's about right.
that's right.
Yeah, don't mess around with Billy Hamilton at second base. If he takes off, so what? You finish the hitter off, this pitcher, and go into the dugout.
Here's the good news. Straley swung at that, and it's not going to feel his hands now for the next 10 minutes. Two runs in the inning on the Duvall home run. Straley's fouled off 3 straight. For the Reds, it's game 7 of an 11-game trip, or excuse me, a 10-game trip. It's the 9th pitch coming in the at-bat. And he lost him. Wow. So Straley works out a walk, and now you have Cozart at the plate.
Who's homered in this game on the first pitch from Chad Bettis.
He also hit a pop fly to right. Bettis struggling here in the 4th.
And that was the pitch he wanted to throw to Straley.
Cozart, the Reds' leading hitter, at 289 coming in. 0-2. One and 2. Boy, pitch count really getting elevated, Huey.
I just looked at that. 74 pitches for Chad.
One and 2 on Cozart. Ground foul. Wind is still blowing considerably, not as violently as it was a few minutes ago. See a bunch of rappers though on the field.
But it's dark enough that they turned the lights on.
Outside, 2-2. 31 pitches in the inning.
That's
for
how,
Bettis.
yeah, and that's how that count jumped up so quickly.
Back up the middle, ricochets towards second. Safe there. You got to worry about Hamilton at third. The heck of a try by Story and LeMahieu. And it's close enough that I guarantee Brian Jones is going to take a long look at this in the Rockies clubhouse. Call it second, made by Ryan Blakeney.
And it was slowed down going off the foot of Chad Bettis. Otherwise, that is into center field. And then ricocheted to Trevor, who flips to DJ. Does he get his foot to the bag before Straley slides in?
This angle
maybe this angle will show us a better look on the Subaru Supermo.
It's not going to show us. His body is in the way. See if we can find an angle. This one may be the one.
Boy, that's hard to tell. I mean, DJ's trying to catch the ball from Trevor as he's feeling for the bag. Watch the right foot. There's still some space. Now he reaches the bag.
Rockies will not challenge. Walt came out.
Well, I think he also
Check
came
on
out, yeah.
Bettis. Now it's Votto with the bases loaded. And Gonzalez Germain has gotten up. I mean, ordinarily this is the last guy, one of the last guys in baseball you want to face, but of course Votto is just in a horrendous place offensively. There's an illustration of it here. You get locked up on pitches after we go, why didn't I swing at that?
Your mind just comes paralyzed with questions about your swing, what's going to happen, the count, what's he going to throw, and then you end up not doing anything.
2-1. Well, this is the most. I know he had a rough outing in Boston, but this is the most in one inning that I can recall Chad really laboring. And I know he's going to come back afterward and look at that Straley sequence.
Because think of the pitches after that.
Two and two.
An extra 15 pitches minimum added to your pitch count. High stress pitches. You could have your offense. You could be through the commercial break, have your offense out here starting to throw up some more runs.
2-2 on Joey Votto. 3-2. Votto, a career .311 hitter, hitting barely over 200. That's the best swing he's taken today. It's now raining in our booth. What was that weather report, Katie, you got earlier?
Yeah, no chance of rain.
No chance of rain, and there's even when there's a chance of rain, there's a very little chance of it raining inside here, but it's happening.
It's raining.
Another 3-2, and this ball's well hit to center field. Charlie going back, and it is over his head, and the Rockies catch a break. It's a ground rule double, but it's tied up the ball game at 5. So Joey Votto What a time for him to break out of a slump. A 2-run double, dead center field. And the Rockies, who put up 4 in the bottom of the 3rd, it's all gone now. 5-5 game.
3-2 pitch to Joey Votto. And tied up in his second at bat with the strikeout. Inside this time, he extends the arms, and the Rockies caught a break by that ball bouncing over the wall into center field. But otherwise, Zack Cozart would have come around to score.
And Walt's going to take the baseball from Bettis. So Chad goes just 3 2/3. And it's 5-5 as Gonzalez-Germain will come on. Katie, we're going to let you get out of the rain. So good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good luck with the Vitality run from Wash Park. Good luck in Cooperstown as well.
That'll be fun.
Tell Shawnee, you know, swing from the heels.
I will.
All
I
right.
will.
We hear about a lot of home runs there.
Yeah,
That's what I hear, so we're hoping. We're hoping.
And have a blast. All right. Take care. You bet, Katie. Need to know. Rockies had a 5-1 lead, and it's all gone. 4 runs against Bettis in the 4th, and now Brandon Phillips at the plate against Gonzalez-Germain, and there's 2 men in scoring position. It's a good pitch. The Rockies the last couple of days, Huey, we discussed this yesterday. That's why Walt, you know, didn't pull Chris Russ in. They don't really have a long haul guy with the bullpen being taxed, the number of games in a row. De La Rosa is that guy, but he pitched a couple of days ago.
And he's still not ready.
And it's an unfamiliar role for him.
Yeah, so it's going to take him longer to get loose than, say, a Christian Bergman, who is used to that role. Or he's used to starting.
You know, Russing's used to that role, but he's right now in the rotation. So Germain here, and the Rockies are going to have to piecemeal their way through this ball game because of the short start, unfortunately, for Bettis. 0-2 on Phillips. He's the 9th man to hit here in the 4th. Bruce began it with a double, then Duvall hit the windblown 2-run home run to right center. Singles by Suarez and Hamilton, and then Barnhart flew out on a great catch by Parra, and the Rockies picked off Suarez, and they could get out of it by just getting Straley, who hadn't had a hit all year, the plate. He fouled off a bunch of pitches and walked, and that was obviously the key at bat in the inning. Otherwise, Bettis is still in there. The Rockies are hitting, and it's a 5-3 game.
Instead, then Zack Cozart hits a single up the middle to load the bases. Joey Votto works a count in his favor, 3-2, and he just guesses, jumps on the fastball, whatever. But no matter how bad Joey Votto's been hitting, he's still Joey Votto.
Same thing with Phillips at the plate. Here's the 1-2, and this one should get the Rockies out of it. Maybe not. No. It's a more difficult play than I thought. Story didn't handle it, and now the Reds have a 6-5 lead. Votto at third. It's a base hit for Phillips and his 23rd RBI. This inning has been a flat-out disaster.
Base hit, a skimmer on the ground. Trevor, if he catches it, it's going to have to make the spinorama throw to first. Right?
Off the bat, you thought it was a little more routine, and it turned out not to be.
No, and because you had to reach so far, and when it doesn't secure into that webbing, when he took that extra half step, that's as the ball came out, and then he kicked it away from him.
0-1 on Jay Bruce. And there's the second strike. This is rolled to DJ, puts his hand out, and that'll end the inning. Awful inning for the Rockies. They had a 5-1 lead when the inning began. They now trail 6-5. Field, and as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, work to do for the Rockies. And they'll have Germain leading off again. Their bullpen right now, from a long haul standpoint, is empty. So Germain's going to have to hit for himself here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1-2. Dan Straley. And the Reds with a 6-5 lead. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs, and Mark Strittmatter joins us. We went downhill after Katie left, but we promised you we'd put you on. So
well, I appreciate it.
We're even going to show you actually here in a second, but just briefly. Yeah, pretty good piece of hitting there, going the opposite way. But Germain, who gets in a bat like once a season, is out 4-3. How you been? Where you been?
I've been good. I've been all over. I just got back Saturday from Modesto. Watched Modesto Nuts play 4 games.
Okay, you stay when you go and work with the catcher. You go and stay for a significant period of time, don't you?
Yeah, either 4 or 5 days, 4 or 5 games. Get good 4 or 5 work days in with the catcher. So that's my typical schedule. Yes.
Okay. And the group that you are working with throughout the system, tell me some names that you're excited about, guys that are really progressing.
Well, there's a few names that are really good out there, and obviously at the top of the list is Tom Murphy. Tom's got a chance to really impact the game, both sides of the ball. He can defend, and he's got a chance to hit some power, hit some home runs.
And he was injured earlier this year for a little bit, but he's completely healthy now.
He's completely healthy now, and he's actually playing very, very well. You know, he struggled in spring training, as everybody knows. So when I go in there, it's just about enjoying the game of baseball for Tom.
Billy Hamilton just robs Charlie Blackmon. 2 outs. Yeah, I noticed he's hit a couple bombs lately. Threw out a good ball game last night. How's Dom Nunez doing?
I just got done with Dom. Dom's in a good place also. Dom's another one. He's a 21-year-old kid who can really catch a ball. And he's got a chance to hit too. You know, he's got to grow into his body a little bit, get a little stronger. But another guy that's got a chance to be real good on both sides of the ball.
These guys are frontline guys too, as you project, and it's so hard to project in the game. But
it really is really hard to project. But yes, right now, yes, I would project those guys to be frontline guys.
And it's not just during the season or instructional league, spring training. You work with these guys also during the winter. You bring some of them here to Denver and work with them.
Yeah, you know, thanks to my family letting me do it.
Camp Strittmatter.
Camp Stritty. You know, if 4 or 5 guys fly in, they know they pay their own way. They stay with myself and hang out with my family, and you know.
Do they get shirts out of it too?
I haven't made any shirts yet.
That's what you need.
I should.
Yeah,
I should.
Camp Stritty shirts.
No doubt. But it's a great opportunity.
This ball is crushed to left center field. It's over the head of Adam Duvall, and into second base with a 2-out doubles LeMahieu. Hopefully the Rockies can produce some more 2-out magic as they did last inning when they scored 4 times with 2 gone.
It's a great opportunity for the guys to get to know me outside of the baseball field, and it's been going on for 2 years now, and hopefully a third this winter, and it's been great. And you know, the relationships that I can have with these guys, and they can hang out with my family and eat dinner, lunch, breakfast with us. It's just been real good.
But it also increases the trust factor.
Yes,
you know,
no doubt.
When you're working with them, you have that relationship.
That's right, and that's all. I mean, coaching is all about relationships, and the better relationships I can have with each player, the better coach I believe I'm going to be.
Cargo at the plate with 2 outs. He's walked twice. Straley is not really giving him anything to hit. I want to ask you about a kid that you just got to meet in spring training, and he's been interesting. He's been terrific. And Tony Walters, who's a middle infielder by trade.
Yeah, Tony's been unbelievable. And I get a chance to watch some games, and you know, I was actually down in the training room today talking to Doogie, and after he makes his play here, but Tony's an elite defender. Bottom line, he's a great receiver, a great blocker, and an unbelievable thrower. So he's elite for me. It was a great story in spring training when I asked him, who taught you how to catch?
Well, you finish that story in a sec. 6-5. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest. Coors.com. The Rockies had a rough fourth inning, to say the least. They now trail 6-5. Gonzalez-Germain to Adam Duvall, who hit a 2-run home run last inning, and that pitch is in there for a strike. Bettis goes 3 2/3, 6 runs, 8 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. So a tough outing again for Chad. Mark Strittmatter continues with us, the Rockies roving catching coordinator, and also host of Camp Stritty in the winter, which is beneficial for not just some of the catchers. There's other position players who come in and hit with you in that that nice hitting facility you have adjacent to the garage. I have the code. Anybody? In fact, I'm going to put it out on the. Can I do that? Anybody wants to come by and
We
hit?
better not do that.
No,
We better
that's
not do
not
that.
okay.
No. We just got a dog, so they might get bit. You know what I mean?
Would you get a schnauzer?
So finish your story about Tony Walters.
Oh, so Tony shows up that first day in spring training, and you just watch the guy catch. It's like, oh my God, it's really, really good. So I asked him, who taught you how to catch? Because I know he was a converted guy. I knew all about him. And he goes, nobody. He goes, Indians said we want you to catch. Here's 200 videos of Russell Martin. Go get him.
That was it?
That was it. That's what he told me. So you can just figure out what the athlete he is. And when you watch him catch, there's so much similarities to Russell Martin. So it's pretty neat to watch.
He
It's like the Tom Amansky video. Then he just except for it's Russell Martin.
That's right.
Back to back to back. 2-2 on Duvall. This kid's got a lot of pop. Misses 3-2. The thing about Tony in your travels, I know you get to watch the Rockies periodically. I've seen guys have 3-foot misses, and somehow he manages to catch the baseball. It's remarkable.
Remarkable athlete. Great hands. Playing in the middle of the diamond his whole life has just taught him how to catch a ball, and he does an unbelievable job at it.
How's Garneau doing for you?
He's doing very good. G is G. G, he's a great leader on the field. I watched him in Boston the other night. I thought he was really, really good. And if you throw him a pitch he can hit, he can hit it far.
Yeah.
So,
He did that the other night at Fenway.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about a guy in Nashville, Chris Rabargo. I just hear the reports about him. Seems very athletic.
Well, Chris is almost like Tony. Chris played his college ball at UC Irvine. Played shortstop in the College World Series. He went to Tri-Cities one summer, and after that we made him a catcher. So he's a great athlete. Can really catch the ball. Can really throw the ball. The best catchers are the guys that play the middle of the field, because they move their feet growing up all the time. They have to have a good arm to play the middle of the field, and their hands are so good.
Well, the #1 priority for any catcher, and you were an outstanding receiver, is to handle a pitching staff. And there are some arms that we talk about all the time on these broadcasts that are not very far away. And you talk about the 3 or 4 guys in Hartford that are doing so well. Hoffman down in Albuquerque. In your travels, I know you're watching the catchers, but how impressed have you been with some of the arms?
Really, really impressed. I mean, it's day in, day night. We get pitching performances every night. Hoffman, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, good slider, good curveball. Harrison Musgrave, slow heartbeat on the mound, can really pitch. Marquez in Double-A, Freeland in Double-A. Carrier City's closing. I mean, it's all over the place. It's really good arms.
Sensatella came back throwing up 2 really good ball games.
That's right, and Sensatella, he's been hurt a little bit, but he's back now and 2 good games in a row.
In all your years in this organization, have you ever seen the number of high-quality arms that the Rockies now have?
It's not even close. It's not even close. You can watch the big leaguers out here and how athletic and how good they are. We have a lot of teams like that in the minor leagues with great pitching, hard pitching, and really good athletes down the field. You go watch a Hartford team play. They're fun to watch. They're so athletic.
Still haven't played a home game.
No. And I don't know when they will.
Tyler Anderson's another name on that list. It just moved up to AAA. He missed a lot of time with injury.
He's missed a whole bunch of time with injury. And when you see Tyler pitch, the one thing about Tyler is he competes as good as anybody on the mound. He doesn't have electric stuff per se like some of these guys, but he can make pitches, repeat his delivery, and he competes. And you know what? And he loves to compete. And that's what makes him fun to watch.
Sounds like a lot of those guys down there, because that's what you hear about Hoffman, Cincinnati, you know, watching him during spring training all the time. A lot of these guys have that compete level that you need at the major league level.
And they push each other, and you can see that. You know, they push each other every day, and that's what makes it so fun to watch. You know, we got guys in Modesto. I was there 4 days. I saw 4 great starts. You know, Sam Howard, Polanco, they're all throwing the ball great.
How about the high school kid in Asheville? Drafted out of high school. Oh, forgive me. You know who I'm talking about.
Lambert.
Peter Lambert.
Peter Lambert. He's 18 years old with posure of a 25-year-old. You know what I mean? He's really good too.
And as we always say, and you know better than anybody, Huey knows better than anybody, the game doesn't change. It's all about those guys who take the baseball. It's always going to be that way.
Always. Throw strikes, throw quality strikes, and that's what we're doing right now.
2-1 on Billy Hamilton. Shallow right. Cargo has got it. We'll let you get back with the family. Good luck with Shawnee this weekend in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
Don't screw the kids up, all right?
I'm staying away.
All right.
I'm staying away. All right.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
Mark Strittmatter, Rockies roving catching coordinator. Cincinnati first of 4 between Colorado and the Reds. Here's this week's CenturyLink high-speed challenge. All right. Cargo has the hardest hit home run for the Rockies this season. How fast was its exit velocity? And here's how you can submit guesses. Mark Reynolds takes ball 1. Go to rootsports-_-RM to cast your vote, and we'll give you the answer this coming Saturday when the Rockies are in San Diego to take on the Padres. You have 3 choices. That's on the ground at third. Suarez throws out Reynolds. So the choices: 115.9, 116.8, 117.4. I'll give you not a hint, but a little more information on exit velocity. Cargo has 2 of the 10 hardest hit balls based on exit velocity in the game this year. The only other guy who's in the top 10 multiple times, not surprisingly, is Giancarlo Stanton, though he's had trouble making contact of late.
A lot of strikeouts for Stanton, but when he connects, watch out.
Parra had a single off the scoreboard in right to drive in a run. That's when everything looked great for the Rockies. They went up 5-1 in the third. All of a sudden here in the 5th inning, they're down a run, and they got to steal momentum back from Dan Straley.
For Chad Bettis in his last 2 starts, 8 in the 3rd inning, he's given up 12 runs. ERA's jumped well above 5 for Chad.
Line shot, but it's at Cozart. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Trevor Story for the first time this year, hitting in the 6th spot. 0 for 1, and he drew a walk in the 3rd and then scored on the 3-run double by Daniel Descalso. Message from President Obama. So appropriate on this Memorial Day. High ball 1 on Trevor Story. The Rockies, Huey, in the last 2 games had allowed 33 hits to the Giants, 16 and 17 yesterday. And this Reds team that has just been struggling in every facet of the game seemingly. They have 6 runs on 9 hits in 5 innings.
0-5 on this road trip for their starters. It just hasn't been a pretty thing. And then you give Dan Straley kind of a second life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was hanging by a thread, trying to just cover up after the base hits, and all with 2 outs, and then Descalso with the double. You're down 5-1. But he's come back out after that and just started pounding the strike zone again.
Giants flew to Atlanta yesterday right after the game, played an afternoon game. They lost to the Braves 5-3, a rare home win for the Braves. 1-2 with 2 outs.
Samardzija with the loss for the Giants. Drafted out of Marshall.
Thundering Herd. He was originally from California, and his family moved to Oregon. He went to Western Oregon for a while, then over to Marshall. It's a long way.
24th round pick.
Story will back out. Again, our thanks to Mark and Katie Strittmatter for joining us. Good info on the Rockies minor leagues, pitchers and catchers especially. It's off the end of the bat, and it's 1-2-3 innings. So the Rockies have gone stagnant offensively, and now we move on to the 6th inning in a 1-run game.
Tax Squadron 129. You're looking at the EA18G Growler, and members of the squadron are Roy Walker, his call sign's Nilla, Tim Warburton, Putty, Brennan Colgrove, he's Daryl from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Mark Eisenbrenner, Megatron, and Jake Vetter that they call Cactus. I am sitting with Adam Van Bogart, and today you got to fly over first pitch. What was that like for you? Is it an honor coming over Coors Field?
It's an unbelievable feeling to get out here and come support the Rockies. The organization's been great, helping us out the past couple of weeks, trying to get this all organized. But a couple of the group guys got to fly over today, are from Colorado, have some Colorado ties. So it's an honor to come be part of the Memorial Day festivities here at Coors Field.
It's obviously it's an honor for me to be around you guys. We appreciate your service. Tell me a little bit about the aircraft you guys are flying today.
So we brought in 2 EA-18G aircraft, the Growler from Electronic Tax Squadron 129 up in Whidbey Island, Washington. We're a training squadron up there, so all the guys you see here are all instructors, teach the new students how to fly the aircraft and how to employ it so that they can use it in combat when necessary.
How do some of these guys get the call names? I mean, we think about Maverick and Goose. How do you get your name?
Usually you do something really stupid, and it tends to play on something like that, or it's a play on your last name. So mine's just short for a really long last name. Putty's is from a Seinfeld kind of reference, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and we got a Vanilla Ice fan.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice is sitting to my right, and he got it. It's actually Nilla, but they said it sounded like vanilla, so that's why he is Nilla. It's a great name. Did you grow up and know that you wanted to be a fighter pilot?
Absolutely. I grew up not too far north of here, up in Longmont, Colorado. So I've been a Rockies fan the whole time and kind of always had ties to aviation. My grandfather was an air traffic controller, and my father was in the Navy. So we used to go to air shows and look in the cockpit and take a look at the different aircraft, see all the buttons and switches and all the complexity inside of that. And I think that's probably what drove a lot of us into the career path that we're in.
Did you really do an inverted 4G on a MiG-28?
Of course, we gave him the bird.
Did you guys look at Top Gun as being like, do all you guys talk about Top Gun?
I think we joke about it and we laugh about it, but I think in all honesty, it probably had a huge impact on most of the guys of our generation, growing up seeing that movie and wanting to do something like that for a career.
You mentioned living right down the road in Colorado. How many Rockies games have you been to, and how much of Rockies baseball do you follow?
So I'm still a huge Rockies fan. Hopefully we could take a couple games. I think we got Cincinnati for 8 games in the next 2 weeks.
4 games.
So
yeah.
we got a chance to hopefully take advantage of a struggling team. But I've been a fan since '93. We watched games at the old Mile High Stadium, and the number of games I've seen here at Coors, I couldn't even tell you. But it was pretty surreal flying over today, and now being here talking to you is pretty neat.
Well, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. We're going to enjoy the baseball game all together. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone at the Rockies. We appreciate it.
I tell you what, first of all, Spilly, you're good. Lieutenant Van Bogart is great.
Yeah.
He's tremendous.
Drew Goodman just said, I'm good at broadcasting, but you are great.
That's an honor for Mr. Goodman. Thank you.
He was outstanding. I want to know, as Cargo makes his catch, could you ask the Lieutenant, Spilly, how long, because I know where Whidbey Island is, how long it takes the flight in one of those bad boys to get here from the Pacific Northwest.
So you want to know? Okay, so how long does it take for a flight from Denver to the Pacific Northwest in one of those birds?
So we had a nice tailwind on the way here, so it took us about 2 hours, which is a little bit less than we kind of expected it to take. If we could stay in full afterburner the whole time, we'd be here in a hurry. The problem is we go through a whole lot of gas in the process. So unfortunately, we kind of have to take it slow and do about a 2-hour flight. It's about 1,000 miles. So about 2 hours is what it took to get here on Friday.
That's unbelievable. Do sometimes when you walk up to your plane, do you go, I got the need? The need for speed.
Absolutely. We quote Top Gun probably more than we ought to, and we usually make fun of each other for it. So.
Are we going to get a volleyball game later in our jean shorts?
And we all brought our cut-off jean shorts, so I think we're ready to go.
Spilly, you can say, hey, we were in the Top Gun bar a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we were in San Diego at the Top Gun bar. We were playing Great Balls of Fire. Have you guys been in that? You love that barbecue?
Absolutely.
This is line to left, just foul. Well, tell those guys we wish them all the best, and thank you for their service.
We wish you guys all the best. Thank you for your service. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Our pleasure.
He's outstanding.
Yeah, he was.
And he's from right up the road in Longmont. And he's a Rockies fan.
Well, you could tell. Mile High, Coors Field, talking about the Reds.
Yep. 1-2 on Cozart, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 6-5 Reds. Gonzalez Germain misses there. Cozart snapped out of an 0 for 18 on the first pitch of the game by hitting one deep into the seats and left. Charlie Blackmon, though, in the bottom of the first, led off with a home run. Game's gone haywire since then. 3-2. Three and two on Cozart. Did he try to field out his bare
with
hand?
his bare hand, just diving out there?
That wasn't wise.
No.
I respect your courage.
I respect him trying to protect the fans.
Yes.
Could have been
get a glove.
Yeah.
Swung on and missed. Good inning for Gonzalez Germain. In fact, he has retired all 7 batters he's faced. So he's done a terrific job. Those men every day do a terrific job. Reds up 6-5. On this Memorial Day, USAA honors our fallen soldiers. Daniel Descalso. Descalso a single in the second, a 3-run double in the third to give the Rockies a 5-1 lead. That's gone now at 6-5 Cincinnati. It's been a rough May for Chad Bettis after a terrific April.
For Chad, 3.77 ERA in April, and coming into the game, it was 6.07 in 5 starts in May, and that will go up after today.
Great work by Gonzalez Germain. He's probably done. He went 2 1/3. Got all 7 hitters that he faced, and Jason Mott's up in the Rockies' pen. Now the Rockies have to get about the business of getting after Mr. Straley. It's 3-1 on Descalso. Garneau on deck, and then we'll get a pinch hitter. And this ball lined toward Billy Hamilton. He runs it down. Can't swing it better than Descalso has today. He's barreled up 3 balls.
Billy just got the good jump on that one. Hey fans, the first 10,000 through the gates for the Rockies Reds game tomorrow will receive a coupon for a Hebrew National Dollar hot dog. Yeah, Ryan Rayburn grabbed the bat and the pine tar, come to the on-deck circle.
This may be one of those guys, or one of those situations where Rayburn's in the on-deck circle, but you may see Adames if Garneau does not reach.
Done that 2 or 3 times already this year.
Garneau out front, 0-2. And
he's ready.
There's Adames. Keep in mind that Nolan late in the game is available. It kind of pushes Rayburn up a slot. He's been so great in that role. He's the big piece that Walt goes to late in the ball game, but now you have the bonus of Nolan today. He's getting a day off.
And they only have one left-hander in their bullpen, Tony Cingrani, who is their closer. So they can't match up in the 7th or 8th inning.
Two and 2. This Reds team 4-19 on the road.
Long year for their skipper Brian Price.
Changeup strikes out Garneau. So Adames will be the pinch hitter as Ryan Rayburn goes back to the dugout. If the Rockies score 7 runs today, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special at Moss Taco Bell. Well, ever since Straley got the lead, he's been terrific. He's retired 5 in a row, 6 in a row overall, but 5 in a row after being given the 6-5 lead. It's almost as if the Rockies went into shock after that 5 spot thrown up by the Reds.
Straley, the only hit that he had given up since the 3rd inning was DJ LeMahieu's double with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
And that's going to drop a base hit for Adames. Christian has been swinging it of late.
Center fielder, number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
5 for 18 now in the pinch for Christian. Blackmon, the home run in the 1st. He hit a little comebacker in the 3rd and then hit a line shot that was caught by Hamilton his next time up.
Was into the 1st row of the 2nd deck. Extends his hit streak to 8 games. Is on base at 25. I mean, it's just Charlie rolling.
Tomorrow will be a special day for Charlie. He won't know anything about it because he doesn't pay attention to such things, but it'll be game number 500 in his career tomorrow when the Rockies take on the Reds. I hear you, April.
As bad as that 4th inning was for the Rockies, they're only down by a run.
Yeah, it kind of
it feels bigger than that.
Yeah, it feels awful because of how it happened. But you're right, it's a 1-run game in the 6th inning.
A lot of outs left.
0-2. And Straley strikes out Blackman. So we'll move to the 7th inning. It remains 6-5 Cincinnati. He lets us look back. Charlie Blackman tied at the bottom of the first with a solo home run. 4th on the season for Blackman. Reached 25 straight. Here's the big blow. 3-run, 2-out double from Daniel Descalso. Great base running from Trevor Story, scoring all the way from first. And then Joey Votto on a 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded hit one over the head of Blackman. That scored 2. The Reds would add another run in a 5-run inning that chased Chad Bettis. So the Reds, despite their extensive struggles, lead 6-5 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. And another new pitcher for the Rockies after great work from Gonzalez Germain. It'll be Jason Mott making his 3rd appearance.
But this first time this year back-to-back, because he pitched yesterday an inning, gave up a hit or 3 hits on, also 1 earned run, 18 pitches in that. So this is the first time you're really going to get the look at Jason and see, is the velocity the same back-to-back days?
Germain 2 1/3, 3 strikeouts. All zeros otherwise. 1-0 on Votto. And Votto hits this ball to deep right, and it is done. 7-5 Cincinnati. 8th home run of the year for Joey Votto. You don't want to get him hot. He's now driven in 3 today, and that is his 200th career home run.
86-mile-an-hour cutter from Jason. Talk about Votto and his struggles, but he didn't miss this cutter on the Subaru Supermo. Get a pinch hitter for Brandon Phillips, DeJesus Jr.
That means his legs acting up. Remember, he was a game time decision. This ball down the right field line foul. It was a game time decision because he got hurt a little bit yesterday making a sliding catch against the wall in Milwaukee. Stayed in the game yesterday, worked out before the ball game, and obviously said he was good enough to go, but now he's coming out. One and one. DeJesus originally drafted in the 2nd round by the Dodgers back in 2005. Comebacker. So Jason Mott has DeJesus for the first out of the 7th inning. That'll bring up Jay Bruce.
Might stay
Long
in.
run for Descalso. He will stay in, and he'll get there. Good play by Daniel. Had the shift on with Bruce. 2 outs.
That's the hard ones for the corner guys, the first or third baseman, especially the third baseman, as much as they shift now. Because you're used to running a certain distance before you'd run into the wall or the tarp, but with the shifts, you have more area to run, so you start to feel like, uh-oh, where am I on the field? Am I going to catch up? Am I going to hit the wall? Daniel played that one just like you should.
Duvall, a deep fly to center, then a 2-run home run that got that 4th inning started. Went out to right center. That's when the wind was really blowing. He's a strong guy. 12 home runs now for Duvall, 28 driven in. You know, the Reds, despite all of their issues, Huey, they have some guys with thump in the lineup. We know what Votto's done in his career. Phillips, 200+ home runs. Jay Bruce, Duvall, Eugenio Suarez has hit 9 home runs.
It's a perfect ballpark to build some of the power in. I mean, you construct your lineup to your ballpark.
Good pickup at first by Mark Reynolds. That'll end the inning. Votto goes deep, 200th career home run, and now the Rockies' deficit is 2 at 7-5. Stretch time at Coors Field. It's also, on this day of remembrance, an opportunity for us to stick around for a rendition of God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody.
Fans, the Colorado Rockies are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today are 4 crew members from the USS Colorado, the newest of the Navy's nuclear submarines under construction in Groton, Connecticut. Please help us welcome Lieutenant Alexander Duncan. Lieutenant Duncan is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, a seasoned submariner. He serves as a reactor control assistant. Lieutenant Junior Grade Mike Nielsen enlisted in 2008. He subsequently attended Oregon State University and was commissioned an officer in 2013. Chief Yeoman Joshua Erickson brings 16 years experience to the crew. He was the first crewman of the 134 assigned. The youngest member honored today is electronics technician Seaman Alexander Westfall, a member of the communications division. Fans, please give these 4 a warm hero's welcome, and to all our nation's brave servicemen and women and their families, we thank you for your service and sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Senior Airman Ben Sampson. Additionally, please direct your attention to the rock pile where locally assigned Navy sailors from NIOC Colorado will be unfurling the American flag. Ladies and gentlemen, please join Senior Airman Sampson by singing along to God Bless America.
To 1868, after giving a speech at Arlington National Cemetery, General James A. Garfield, future president of the United States, and the observers decorated the graves of 20,000 Civil War soldiers. May 30th became known as Decoration Day, officially changed by federal law in '67, and it became an official national holiday in 1971. Well, the Rockies, as we go to the latter third of the ball game, find themselves down 7-5. DJ LeMahieu out of the 2 spot in the lineup to face Blake Wood. And his first pitch misses. So 6 strong innings from Dan Straley, considering the Rockies had him on the ropes with a 4 spot in the third. Then he put up 3 straight zeros. This has been a tough area to say the least, for Cincinnati, their bullpen.
6.45 ERA for their pen. Trying to find guys that'll fit in whatever role to get to Cingrani, their closer. Blake Wood, a hard thrower, 96 miles an hour on average with the fastball. Slider about 88. And his changeup is a split finger changeup.
And it's 3-0. Ivan De Jesus Jr. stays in the ball game naturally for Phillips. He pinch hit for Cargo on deck. Double last time up for LeMahieu. Extends his hitting streak to 9 games. Three-one. Ball 4, good start to the inning. DJ will jog down to first. All those Reds fans back in Southern Ohio saying, oh man, here we go. And hopefully they're right on.
I think we heard the groan from the Ohio Valley. Well, with Cargo stepping to the plate, it's time for our Colorado Lottery pitch probability. And this is Cargo against all right-handed pitchers this season. Yeah, they'll throw the knuckleball on there because you got to be facing Boston. Stephen Wright.
And that gets by for a moment. DJ being a little conservative naturally with the 2-run deficit. Huey, the scoreboard always dictates, doesn't it?
Right. Don't run yourself out of an inning or an out. The other hard thing for a base runner at first base is when that ball goes directly behind the catcher. You have a tough time trying to read that one. Once DJ hesitated, he did the right thing. Stay there.
Called strike, 1-1. Blake Wood, 25 1/3, has walked 17 hitters. I'm sure Blake Doyle reminded his club of that. This ball's lined left center field. Billy Hamilton misjudged it. Off the wall. DJ to third will get a stop sign on the double by Cargo. Boy, was that ever a missile. You can tell from here, as good an outfielder as Billy Hamilton is, that's over his head.
I think he misjudged it because Cargo hit it. Maybe any other person at the plate, it would have been an out because he's made 2 line drive catches today, but not this time because this is probably about a 2-iron for Cargo, where he just gets that tremendous backspin. Billy Hamilton, I got it. Oh no, I don't. Let me just go catch this and throw it back in.
Tying run at second base. Cargo's 200th career double. They tossed that baseball into the Rockies dugout. He'll have it as a keepsake, but right now his focus is on scoring the tying run. Mark Reynolds at the plate. DJ at third.
You have to do your scouting report, and one of the scouting reports is the arms of the outfield for the Cincinnati Reds. Adam Duvall, pretty good arm strength, accuracy average. Billy Hamilton strong across the board. Don't be fooled by the size. And Jay Bruce, same thing in right field. He has a true right fielder's arm. Maybe not as good as Cargo's, still very good.
To third, and an empty at bat for Mark Reynolds. Mark's been so good with runners in scoring position. bring up Parra. Parra has hit the ball hard 2 out of 3 times today. A single that he hit so hard and hit the auxiliary scoreboard, he got just 90 feet out of it. It drove in a run, and then he hit a missile right at Zack Cozart his last time up. Couple of places Mark could have hit the baseball that wouldn't have scored DJ, and unfortunately one of them was at the third baseman. Suarez was even with the bag.
For Mark, he's been so good at hitting the ball up the middle the other way, and that's the time you needed him to do it. As a teammate for Gerardo, you have to pick him up. That's 2 pitches that I think Gerardo's going to look back at this at bat and say, I wish I would. Swung at those, both up. They're not in the Subaru strike zone. They're not good pitches that you can hit even for a sacrifice fly when somebody's throwing 95.
Got a little anxious, and now he's got to dig out. Now it'll come down to Trevor Story. All of a sudden, there's 2 outs.
2 empty at bats.
And this is where, honestly, remember, it was probably about 3-4 weeks ago, we were talking frequently about how the Rockies were manufacturing runs, doing the small things to produce runs, not just sitting back waiting for the long ball. And lately, we have not said that as much.
A little bit bigger swings. More wild swings in these counts and in these situations.
Story 0 for 2 and a walk. Ball 1. This could be a good matchup for Trevor.
Hard thrower.
Hard thrower.
Guy that likes to hit the fastball.
Outfield straight up, very deep. 1-0 on Story. Got a pitch to hit there.
Hanging slider.
Rockies 14-14 out on the road, just 9-12 at Coors Field. They had a 5-game winning streak going at Coors Field that ended on Saturday against the Giants. And then they lost yesterday 8-3, giving up 17 hits. They have 2 in scoring position, down by 2.
Wood throws him a slider.
He did. He just got a piece of it.
Just enough.
Straley goes 6 innings, allows 5 runs on 8 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Just enough on the end of the bat. Just foul it off to get to another pitch from Wood. Probably throw it again.
Wow, close.
And he did. Ever so close to the Subaru strike zone, but there was some space.
Two-two. Went back to the slider.
3 or 4 sliders in a row from Blake Wood.
3-2. Rockies have a guy who's really swinging it well on deck in Descalso.
And Trevor had walked in before that big at bat from Daniel when he doubled in 3 runs.
Yes, he did. DJ at third, Cargo at second, 3-2 on Story with 2 outs. And that's floating down the right field line and hit on the warning track. Good job by Trevor.
And that's 3 wasted pitches that he's been able to get to Blake Wood on. Pitch 4, pitch 8, as we just saw, and also pitch 6. All of those, he's just got enough of that baseball to foul it off.
Ball 4, he earned another walk. And here comes Descalso, second opportunity with the bases loaded.
Another reminder, they don't have a left-hander to bring in. Their lone left-handers are closer. This works out for Daniel, hitting left-handed against Wood, the righty. Well, we have a moment. I'll tell you that the first 20,000 through the gates on Tuesday, June 14th, will receive a Colorado Rockies Flag Day beach towel, courtesy of King Soopers.
So here we go. Blake Wood with the bases loaded to Daniel Descalso. Fouls that off. Lefties this year actually hitting lower than righties against Wood, 220 versus 259. Descalso, ground ball right at De Jesus. That'll end the inning. The Rockies at second and third, nobody out, and they do not score.
This is Matthew Foster, Marine Corporal. I met him 3 years ago at fantasy camp. He was a dog handler with an infantry unit in Afghanistan, where his dog Mick helped detect explosives. It's hard to measure exactly how many lives that dog has saved, but there is Matthew with his dog Mick. They got reunited thanks in part to Canine Rescue. They were able to get the two together. Matt had a tough time readjusting to civilian life, and that dog has really helped bring him back. It's a fantastic story. It's also a good reminder that we need to say thank you to the people that are here, our veterans, and remind them that we love them.
And Matt, I believe, just finished the police academy also, Spilly.
Yeah, he's working today, right now, for the Sheridan Police Department.
Yep, just got hired on there. So thank you very much to Matt. And as you and I, Huey and Spilly, know the Foster family. That dog, this ball's hammered to center field off of Castro. Going back and watching it sail out is Charlie Blackman. Suarez with his 10th home run. It's a kid that was 0 for 28 when he singled in the 4th inning, and now he makes it 8-5.
A couple no doubt home runs today, 4 to be exact, from the Reds. I mean, that ball was sitting on a tee for Suarez. Shows the power to hit it over the wall in center field, 425 feet away.
Billy Hamilton's 2 for 3. Just to finish that story, but that dog has meant the world to Matt Foster, and it's great that they were able to reunite. There's the 1-0 on Hamilton, fouled off.
transition to come back is tough. My son-in-law served in Kuwait and Afghanistan, so I know some of those struggles. Numbers on Miguel Castro this year, pretty impressive. Saved that last home run that he gave up, but still has the ability to just come in, throw 98 miles an hour, 88 with the slider, strike a lot of fellas out.
And that's a base hit for Hamilton. Long run for Cargo. Hamilton's going to go for 2. He'll get there easily. He's as fast as anybody in baseball. I mean, he got there standing up.
Billy Hamilton twice in the minor leagues. He stole 103 bases one year, 104 the next. I mean, this is just something. What's the old line? That speed doesn't take a day off. Well, Billy Hamilton starting to understand, hit the ball on the ground and utilize that speed. Effortless for Billy.
Now the bullpen, which had been in a good place for a couple of weeks, has been taking on water the last several days.
Well, it goes back to the starting pitching, though. I mean, it kind of works hand in hand. What was happening when the bullpen was going well? You were getting length out of the starting pitchers.
Yep. 1-0 on Barnhart, 2-0 on Barnhart. Well, this game's just done an about face. Rockies looked like everything was going to go their way. A 4 spot in the bottom of the 3rd, and then the 5-run 4th inning. And not only have the Rockies not literally recovered from that, but talk about taking the air out of the balloon. And then last inning, you have a great opportunity. You get, I think Mark Reynolds and Gerardo Parra tell you afterward, they just had poor at bats.
And to give a club like Cincinnati any sort of hope, any sort of life, they feel like they just dodged one, not giving up a run last inning.
And Castro hasn't worked since Friday. He's let the first 3 reach. 4-pitch walk to Barnhart. So he was pinch hitting here for Cincinnati.
Fans, you elected to celebrate Nolan Arenado during the first player-elect game on June 1st. Now buy the ticket package online and get an exclusive Arenado t-shirt.
It's Brandon Finnegan pinch hitting. He's a starting pitcher. He pitched yesterday in Milwaukee. So they're trying to get a bunt down. So Price, who keeps in extra pitchers, the Rockies doing many clubs in the National League and the American League now, will not burn a position player. He's going to use Finnegan. Five straight out of the zone by Castro. And a good bunt. Three-4 is what you mark in your scorebook. And now Hamilton at third, Barnhart at second. The Rockies have to pull the infield in, and Zack Cozart will come up.
Well, even with the infield in, you have to catch it cleanly with Billy Hamilton's speed at third base. That's why you'll see both Trevor and DJ in on the grass, and then normally that's just a figure of speech. It's right behind the cut of the grass on the dirt, but these guys, knowing the speed at third, they have to come even more.
Slider misses. 2-0 on Cozart.
Last pitch was close on the Subaru strike zone.
3-0. Hamilton's also one of those guys, you can hold him, and then he may take off when you let go of the baseball to first.
Yeah, and maybe if it's hit hard, maybe give the 2 looks to him so he heads back to third before he would go home. First, you got to throw a strike.
Billy Hamilton was a wide receiver recruit at Mississippi State.
You'd like that fly pattern, just head down the field, throw it up, you run underneath it.
Exactly. This is popped down the third base line. You got to hope this is foul. It is a fair ball. Hamilton scores. And it's a pop single, 9-5. This ball game getting away from the Rockies. 9-5, Cincinnati. Second RBI of the game for Cozart.
Broken bat blooper from Zack Cozart. Infield in. Even if you catch it, Billy Hamilton, because you're going to end up catching it with your momentum going away from home, Billy Hamilton's going to score. And then it drops right on the line. Barnhart advances to third and Cozart at first.
Joey Votto, who was in a miserable space coming into the ballpark, hit a 2-run double in the 4th and then hit a home run in his last at bat. Last year he started slowly, ended up at 314, finished third in the MVP voting.
No doubt home run in the 7th inning. Joey Votto. Cardinal tried to play it off with the deke. Didn't matter.
Reds with 200+ home runs all time. Led by Johnny Benn still. Castro strikes out Votto, 2 outs. Jay Bruce on that list. Recently retired Adam Dunn. Two outs. Here's De Jesus for the second time.
Cincinnati today 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. The Rockies were just 2 for 8.
The Rockies have given up 46 hits over the last 2 ball games. 3 ball games, I should say. 9 runs, 13 hits for Cincinnati today. A team that came in with a .228 batting average, second worst. There's another hit, another RBI. Second worst in the National League. It's now 10-5. The Rockies do not pull off the comeback in this one. It's going to go down in this season of 2 months of baseball as, if not the low point, one of the lowest points. This has been a dreadful game after the 3rd inning.
And you had hope too, because you were up 5-1 as you head to the top of the 4th inning. And you even had a chance to get out of that inning, but you end up walking the pitcher, Dan Straley.
And you look and think about what the Rockies have just been through the last few weeks. They played 23 straight against really terrific teams. Teams that all look like they're positioned to be in the postseason. Will certainly contend for a postseason spot. And they went 11-12. They basically played 500 baseball. They hung tough. And then you have a team that's really struggling coming in. Listen, we said it off the top. Right? They're major league players. This is not, you know, a homecoming game for the University of Oklahoma. These are big league guys and some big league names, and
some big league resumes behind some of these guys.
But you're in your ballpark, and It has not been the performance the Rockies were looking for.
Chad Qualls, who pitched yesterday, is now up again today.
In the air, shallow center. This ball is going to be caught. Wow, that was a tough play by Story. Blackman was very deep, and that will end the inning. 3 runs on 4 hits in the inning. There was a walk as well. 10-5 Reds. Performance today. Dan Straley struggled early and then settled in. Chad Bettis gave up a leadoff home run in the game to Zack Cozart and then could not get out of the 4th inning. He ends up giving up 6 runs on 8 hits today, including a couple of home runs. Princeton grad Russ Ohlendorf is now on the mound in the 8th inning. The Rockies 6 outs to overcome a 5-run deficit. Rockies got after Ohlendorf in Cincinnati earlier this year. He gave up 3 runs in an inning and 2/3. Here's Dustin Garneau leading off with Ryan Rayburn on deck.
22nd appearance now for Ross this year, and another guy like Dan Straley, who wasn't with the Reds during spring training. He was released by Kansas City and then signed by the Reds 3 days later. Old school motion where he rocks back, brings both hands above his head. When he first came up, he wasn't that type of pitcher, didn't throw that way. Watch, he'll just drop that right leg to get some momentum, and that's straight old school.
1-2 on Garneau. Rockies have left 8 on today, but they have only 2 hits since the 4th inning. Garneau a single back in the 2nd inning, 1 for 3. 1 out, and that'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Utilize the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com.
Number 6, Ryan Rayburn.
Rayburn fouls that first pitch off.
A special father-daughter moment after yesterday's game for Ryan and his 2 daughters. It was run the bases after the game, and Ryan's out there with his daughters, and they were circling the bases. I asked him today, I said, how much fun was that? He goes, oh, it was just one of those special moments because I hadn't seen the girls since March. This one in school, it's tough to get away.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Ryan was actually going to sneak home to Tampa when the Rockies had a day off in Boston, but that was wiped out by the makeup game in Pittsburgh, so he didn't get to go home. You want to talk about when you're away and you don't get to see family and you're so looking forward to 24 hours where you get to hug up on your kids.
And it doesn't happen.
It'll make you cry, and that's sometimes what I think people forget. As much as guys want to win and grind out at bats and pitching performance and so forth, there's a whole lot else going on that sometimes can affect performance. And now Rayburn gone as Ohlendorf has struck out the first 2 he's faced here in the 8th inning, and there's absolutely no life here in the ballpark. This thing is really flipped around since the 4th inning. Blackman homered in the first. Ground out, line out, strikeout since. Charlie's reached in 25 straight, an ongoing personal best. Strike one on Charlie. The Rockies have been out hit 14-9 in this ball game.
The Reds had 7 hits in 1 inning. At 4th.
Rockies have given up 28 runs the last 3 days. Hard to win if you're giving up
Well, I think
28.
think the last, I'd say 8 or 9, 10 games, you had 2 really good outings. One by John Gray in Boston, the other one by Tyler Chatwood on Friday night here. Won both of those games. Good play by De Jesus.
Yeah, good play by De Jesus, and a good play getting over by Ohlendorf. 1-2-3 in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. 10-5 Cincinnati.
Playing 10-5. Mark Stout and Corey Sullivan getting ready for the Toyota postgame show. Way back after 3, it was 5-1 Rocks.
Yeah, they had an opportunity to win this ball game. They even got a big 2-out hit from Daniel Descalso. Unfortunately, Chad Bettis couldn't get it down on the mound today.
Yeah, and it looks like, unless things change drastically here, the Reds are going to get only their 5th road win as we go back to Drew and Jeff. Guys.
All right, fellas, thank you. Rockies have had to do this one other time this year. Use Jake McGee in a situation where they just want to get him, quote unquote, a little bit of work to stay sharp, as they sometimes say in the business. So McGee, even though he's the Rockies closer, will pitch the 9th inning with a 5-run deficit.
Yeah, and that game was the final game, that Thursday night game in Boston. He pitched just 2 other times on that whole road trip, so needed to get some work in. He'd come in and save the next night here at home. For Jake, this is not the situation that you want, obviously, for your closer to have to just get work in.
Well, the pitching matchup tomorrow will be John Gray against John Moscott. Moscott a 4 ERA. John coming off a great performance at Fenway that Huey referenced a moment ago. We're on the air at 6 p.m. tomorrow on Root Sports with the pregame show.
Moscott will be coming off the DL. He had surgery on his non-throwing shoulder.
Adam Duvall fouls off the first offering. 2-run home run back in the 4th for Duvall. His 12th of the year, his 10th here in the month of May. That leaves everybody in the National League. They knew he had big time pop. He had 30 home runs last year in AAA, which was the most of anybody at that level. He's playing a lot of third base also, Huey.
Just trying to find a way to get his bat in the lineup.
And here's why, because he just hit one out again. 11-5. Second home run for Duvall. He goes oppo.
He came in and tied for 8th in the National League with 11 home runs. Now he sits at 13. A home run to right center field. Now a home run just to right field. Serious pop in that bat.
But you see where that pitch was?
It was up.
Suarez homered in the 8th inning. The Rockies have allowed 4 home runs today. They came in having allowed 15 home runs in the month of May, which was the best mark. Actually miscounted. It's 5, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about Cozart leading off the game with a home run. Cozart's hit a home run. Votto's hit a home run. Duvall's hit 2, and Suarez hit a home run in the 8th. $11 runs, 15 hits, a third of them homers. Ouch. The other thing that happened is 1 and 2. Last time McGee had one of those situations where he was just getting work. Ended up throwing about 21, 22 pitches.
Yeah, and then he had to come back the next night. That one only took him a couple pitches, but you don't want to have to do that. You want him to get his work in, but you don't want him to be taxed where it's 20, 22 pitches.
Every guy's different, Huey. And I'm sure you played with some guys who, if it wasn't a situation to close, they may not have been in a game for 7 or 8 days. They got their quote-unquote work in on the side. But again, every guy is different, and some guys feel like, you know, I got to be in that competitive environment to stay sharp.
Yeah, the bullpens aren't going to do it for him. It doesn't matter.
Hamilton from the right side. He's 3 for 4 today.
And I mentioned the other day, you know, Rick Aguilera, guy I played with in Chicago, he had to be in the game every 3 or 4 days. I mean, it did like clockwork. It didn't matter. Another guy like Randy Myers, he didn't want to be out there if it wasn't a safe situation.
Randy'd hang out with his fatigues on until the 5th inning, right?
Yes, he would. Fatigues, or he'd be asleep on the training table.
Randy, it's time. Wake up.
Wake up.
Put the uni on. 0-2 on Hamilton. Two singles and a double, 2 runs scored. Also a stolen base today for Billy Hamilton. And there's a good pickup, and McGee is going to win the race with Billy Hamilton, barely.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices.
Tucker Barnhart, the catcher, will step up. Today is game number 50 for the Rockies. It's amazing, coming up in a couple of days on the quarter, or on the 1/3 mark in the season. DJ jump throw, and the sweep tag on Barnhart came after he touched the bag, if at all. So Barnhart with an infield single.
Right up the middle, just misses the foot of Jake McGee, and then all you can try to do if you're DJ is make a throw as you're going away from first base. You know, closest was, it wasn't close on the Subaru Supermo. With that base hit by Barnhart, now every starter for the Reds has a base hit.
Pinch hitting Tyler Holt takes a strike. Number 9 spot in the lineup. 16 hits on Saturday for San Francisco, 17 hits Sunday for the Giants, and the Reds have come in here and produced 16 hits.
Those 16 hits now sets a season high in batting for the Reds. Most runs they've scored is 13, so a couple behind there, but they've done it twice where they've had 15 hits.
One and two on Holt. And he fouls another one off.
And then the next pitch will be number 19 for Jake.
That's a base hit. Now you may have to go get McGee. You don't want to burn him for tomorrow by him throwing 25 pitches or so. The Rockies may have to go in a delay game. They do have Eddie Butler warming up in the bullpen. He may have been held back today in terms of throwing his side session, Huey.
I wonder if this is just a truly a side session for him, or he's getting loose.
You got to have a parachute, though, don't you? I mean, you can't let your closer throw 30 pitches and lose him for tomorrow when you may need him.
I agree, and maybe that's why Eddie is up right now, that he could come in and be that parachute for you.
Lately, with all of the games and then the injury to Bergman, Walt's had to be creative. He's had to use Butler to throw his quote-unquote bullpen session in a game, and Eddie did a really good job, and then he made a start a few days later. Cozart on the ground to LeMahieu. Another run on the home run by Adam Duvall. 11-5 Cincinnati. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by USAA, for those who gave everything that we may breathe free, we honor you. (11-5) Cincinnati. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Tony Cingrani is on, trying to get the final 3 outs for the Reds. LeMahieu, Gonzalez, and Reynolds for the Rockies.
The Reds aren't messing around. They're bringing their closer in. For a guy that saves games, and it tells you kind of where the Reds were coming into tonight or today. He has 4 of the 5 saves that Cincinnati has. And that's it. Did not have any saves in his first 143 appearances in his professional career. For all the talk of the Reds bullpen today, they have shut the door down. 2 innings, just 1 hit. No runs.
Well, there's 2 places in this game, 2 instances that stand out. One, Chad's inability, Bettis' inability to get Dan Straley in a 5-3 game. Straley at that point in that at bat was 0 for 13 with 11 strikeouts this year, and he ended up fouling a few pitches off, and then Bettis walked him, which opened the door for a hit from Cozart, and then the booming hit from
Votto.
Joey Votto. That, and then the Rockies had 2nd and 3rd in a 2-run game, nobody out. Reynolds hits a broken bat ground ball right at the 3rd baseman, so you can't advance there. And Parra just had an over-anxious at bat. He swung at the first 2 pitches, which were out of the zone probably, and struck out on 3 pitches. 3-1 on LeMahieu.
And then you don't score, and then the top half of that 8th inning, what does Cincinnati do? They throw a 3-spot up. So they expand the lead.
3-2. Fouled off. Another foul ball. DJ 1 for 3, double, also a walk today, and that just missed.
Just a bit outside.
Who wants tacos? Fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special and the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Cargo has been on base 3 times today. He's 1 for 2. He had a missile of a double in the 7th inning. That's where the Rockies had the aforementioned 2nd and 3rd nobody out. 2 walks as well. First 2 times up against Straley, he didn't give him anything to hit. Cargo's hitting 8 straight. And the Rockies just trying to grind out at bats and pull off a minor miracle.
That's what it'll take. Down by 6.
This ball's to deep center field. Hamilton to the wall. He's going to watch it sail out. And you're a little bit closer. 9th home run for Cargo. He is on one of those rolls. His last 3 home runs against hard-throwing lefties.
Well, they walked him his first 2 times today. They didn't want to give him a chance to swing the bat. Then he hits a screaming double in the 7th inning, and then a moonshot of a home run into the fountains in center field here in the 9th. Just every time he gets into one of these grooves, he knows it. There's no bat flip, it's just the bat drop. It's just classic Cargo.
6 for his last 10 against Southpaws.
Just like the way he's worked hard. He's just kept going, kept pressing on. And now, just to show that power again. 4th home run in the last 5 games for Cargo. Don't forget,
3-1.
Get a couple guys on. You still have Nolan on your bench.
You still have Nolan. Absolutely. And ball 4. Cingrani's walked 2 and given up the 2-run home run. having trouble protecting what was a 6-run lead. Got a dejected look as Barnhart visits with him, and now Mark Riggins will go out. Rockies have hit the magic number of 7. They'd like 12, but they're still in the process. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. What the Rockies are trying to do, they're trying to do what the Reds did Saturday. They had that 11-game losing streak. Reynolds is going to move up. They had the 11-game losing streak. They were down 6-1 in the 8th inning, and it looks like, hey, it's going to be 12 games. And they rallied to win in that game, down 6-1.
That's why you never give up. You just never know.
0-2 on Parra. Gerardo 1 for 4, drove in a run in the 3rd with a line drive off the auxiliary scoreboard. Story on deck. There's something else that, at the very least, we hope happens. We're talking about the pitch count for McGee. Cingrani has thrown 18 pitches already, 9 and 9, 9 strikes, 9 balls. You hope he has to go out and throw a boatload of pitches. He's out of the mix tomorrow.
Said it before, it's worth repeating. 25 pitches is kind of that magic number that pitching coaches and managers want to try to stay away with, or away from, with their pitcher, so he'll be able to go the next day. Good eye.
2-2 on Gerardo.
JC Ramirez has had to get up in the Cincinnati bullpen. The inning began 11-5. Nobody out. Mark Reynolds at second base. One out. Ronnie just challenged with the fastball. Good battle between these two. Gerardo fouled off 2, took 1. Then Cingrani won that matchup. The fastball at 95.
Trevor Story's 0 for 2. He's walked twice, scored back in the 3rd.
Rockies are just 5 for the last 29 with runners in scoring position. Seen it play out a couple different times today when they didn't come through. That would be a great time for Trevor Tack on a few.
It's out of play. Rockies at home against Cincinnati historically have had great success. The only team they've dominated more at home than the Reds is the Marlins. Two and two on Story. Trevor may lead the league in 2-strike counts.
That's what he did in the 7th.
This ball's loud to center field, but he got under it a little bit. Hamilton will make the catch. And Mark Reynolds will move up to third, 2 outs. Boy, initially I thought he clicked it.
Just enough off of the barrel, more towards the end of the bat.
So that'll bring up Descalso. Daniel single and a 3-run double in 4 trips. Also a line shot to center that was handled by Hamilton and a sharp ground ball to second. Hit the ball hard 4 times.
A solid day for Daniel offensively, a couple plays defensively.
How about Dougie on the spot? Trevor has 123 2-strike counts this year. That is tied for first in baseball with Mike Napoli.
123.
I mean, we're just talking off the top of our heads. He's #1 with Mike Napoli. 2-0 on Descalso. Next pitch will be number 30. I'd like to see Descalso, Garneau reach, and that would give Arenado a chance. 3-1. And Nolan is preparing.
He's ready. Been down in the cage, getting loose. Has the helmet on.
And there's a base hit to drive in a run. Descalso makes it 11-8. Reynolds scores.
A 4 RBI day for Daniel.
Well, he came off the DL with his hitting shoes on, didn't he?
Yeah, and this is going to necessitate Brian Price going to his bullpen. 32 pitches for Cingrani. Bring in J.C. Ramirez.
Rockies making it most interesting here in the 9th. Now Tuesdays, excuse me, to interact with some very special guests on Toyota Talk Takeover. And this week's guest, a good friend of ours, Mark Schlereth, the former Bronco, 3-time Super Bowl champ, twice with the Broncos, once with the Redskins. Tweet your questions to Stink at @RootSports_RM. @RootSports_RM. We'll do that tomorrow with Mark. So hard-throwing J.C. Ramirez is in the ball game. The Rockies have Descalso at first, Garneau at the plate, and Nolan in the on-deck circle. The Rockies began the inning down by 6. Cargo hit a 2-run home run. And there's a strike as Descalso moves up. So if you can get Garneau on, Nolan represents the equalizer. Got the slider, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a big heater and a slider.
Yeah, fastball averages 95 to 96, slider 87 to 88. Now you have to go into battle mode for Dustin. Just find a way to make contact.
Ramirez from Nicaragua. This ball, right center field. Bruce thinks he has it, and he does. The Rockies rally for 3 in the 9th, but this game was lost early on, and the Reds have won game 1 of this 4-game set 11-8, just their 5th road win of the year. And for the first time this year, the Rockies fall 4 games under 500. They drop to 23 and 27. Dan Straley gets the victory. He's 3-2. Chad Bettis takes the loss. He's 4-4. And Ramirez ends up with his first career save. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, provided by Adam Duvall. He's having a big power month, and he hit not 1 but 2 home runs today. Drove in 3 for the Reds. His first career multi-home run game. 13 home runs now in the season for Adam Duvall, who splits time between left field and third base. That's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Again, the final score, 11-8 Cincinnati. They've now won 3 of 4 against the Rockies this year. To center field we go. Here's Mark and Sully.
Yes, indeed, no joy in Mudville here. We saw Joey Votto as he got healthy.